Welcome to part 6 of What If Naruto Awakens a Chakra Molding Bloodline and Gets Harem with Fem Haku. Don't forget to like and subscribe as it motivates me to upload more videos in the future, and as always link to the fanfiction is in the description. Chapter 41. Hinata. On her way home. After waking up and dealing with a giggling Haku, she quickly decided that it was time to leave. So, she quickly said goodbye and began to walk home. That was until she remembered that not only was wearing day-old clothes but she also hadn't taken a bath after her activity made her sweat. Needless to say, after this she got self-conscious and quickly jumped to the nearest roof and sped towards her clan compound as fast as humanly possible. She then quickly entered the building and got ready for a long bath while trying to avoid as many people as she could. Till finally she was happily relaxing in their large bath, feeling a lot cleaner than she did just a bit before. Ah, this feels so good. Hinata thinks happily as her muscle soreness mostly disappeared thanks to the magic of the warm water. Due to this wonderful feeling, Hinata had no desire to leave the bath anytime soon. Though after a while she finally heard the door open up and saw her younger sister walk in. "Hello Hanabi." Hinata called out happily to her sister, who seemed surprised. "Hello Oni-san," Hanabi responded before calmly entering the large bathtub as well. Just picture it as a large oriental bathroom with a bath being maybe half or so of what the hot springs is. Or just imagine whatever you want it to be. "So, Oni-san, you seem to be in a really good mood right now," she noticed. "Am I?" Hinata asks, confused, getting a small nod in return. "Hi, usually you are shy even around us, but right now it would seem like you aren't shy at all. Not to mention that you seem to be practically glowing right now for some reason," Hanabi explained, not noticing her sister's face turn bright red as she tried to figure out why she had this glow. It's true," she thought, embarrassed as she remembered how she heard that a girl gained a glowing aura after having sex. Due to being caught with this made her blush nearly enough that her face could give off its own light. Well, I have no idea what could have caused that," she lied while stuttering, making Hanabi look at her, clearly not believing her. "So you are sure that you haven't done anything different that made you change so drastically?" she asked. No, Hinata quickly told her nervously as Hanabi stared at her. "Fine," Hanabi mumbled, knowing she wouldn't get any more information out of her sister. "Anyways, how have you been lately?" Hinata asked, partially trying to get the conversation away from herself. "I have been pretty good. Father says that my skills are improving at a very fast rate, and I have also found out that one of the people I have been looking into is finally back in the village," she told her calmly. "Huh, you have been looking into someone?" "Hi, I have been trying to figure out why you changed so suddenly after a certain time. After all, you all of a sudden put even more focus in your training instead of shying away after the harsh words of the elders," Hanabi explained. "You have been paying that much attention to me?" Hinata asked, surprised, seeing as her sister used to basically ignore her until she began to get recognition from the clan. Even though Hanabi never was mean to her like some of the main branch was, she still didn't seem to try and help her either. "I have always paid attention to you, Oni-chan," Hanabi told her with a slight blush showing her embarrassment. "I just tried to stay away from you more, seeing as the elders always seemed to be even worse to you when I was around. So, I just wanted to help you out," Hanabi explained with the small blush never leaving her face. Course, after hearing this, Hinata couldn't help but be touched by the fact that her sister actually cared for her. In fact, the idea that her sister didn't actually seem to basically hate her made Hinata even happier than she already was. "Okay, this really has been the best 2 days of my life," Hinata thought with a mental smile. "So, now that you know, who has made you change so much?" Hanabi asks her sister, who quickly began to blush again. Well, you see, I have this friend that has always seemed to be so much stronger than me. So, to be able to stand by his side, I wanted to catch up to him, and for that I started to train as hard as I possibly could," Hinata explained, not wanting her sister to know that she has already been in a long relationship with this man already. "Huh, so you just met this guy about 3 years ago?" No, I knew him for a while," Hinata began to lie but quickly decided not to, seeing as she was terrible at doing so. In fact, it seemed that pretty much anyone she tried to lie about always failed. "Then why did it take so long? I mean, it seemed that you only went full force only recently." Well, I just finally made a decision, I guess," Hinata told her, not wanting to say that she only really went all out when Naruto went to train. After all, if she didn't, she would have been far from his level, seeing as he was being trained by a Sannin. Okay then, Hanabi finally said before letting herself relax in the water in peace for a while. She left it at this even though she knew there was more to learn. After all, she didn't want to risk having to deal with her sister fainting in the water. So, both of them sat calmly in the warm water for about 15 minutes before Hinata decided to talk some more. So, who have you been looking into, anyways? Naruto Uzumaki, Hanabi told her calmly, ignoring the surprised look her sister gave her. Why Naruto-kun in specific? You only started to change when I noticed him spending more time around you. Hanabi admitted. Or it could have been that I decided to work hard so I could stand with my teammates. Hinata suggested. Maybe, but I would rather your interest in Uzumaki-san be the cause, because I have no desire to see either one of your teammates join our clan. Hanabi told her firmly. What are you saying? I am saying that even to me it is clear that you having a love interest would be the only reason that you would work so hard to become stronger. After all, the romance books say that shinobi are more likely to fall in love with a girl that is close to their own skill level. Hanabi explained, causing Hinata to blush for seemingly the 100th time this bath. Hanabi. Hinata called out. What, he is a good choice at least. The last member of a well-known clan that is powerful enough to stake his claim in this world. Not to mention he does look quite attractive. Hanabi explained with a small blush on her face. Do you have a crush on Naruto-kun? Hinata asks, actually surprised seeing as her sister never showed interest in any male. No, as if I could ever get a crush on someone so unpredictable. Hanabi denied. But you just said he was good for me. Why, yeah, he may be good for you, but that doesn't mean I have to like the blonde even if he has cute whiskers. Hanabi told her, then blushed realizing her slip up. Cute whiskers, huh? Shut up. I don't like the blonde and that is final. Hanabi told her angrily before getting out of the water and putting her towel back on. Now if you excuse me, I have some things to do. Hanabi told her with the blush never leaving her face, much to the amusement of Hinata. I know I should be a bit annoyed that yet another girl is showing interest in my boyfriend, but for some reason I don't mind the idea that she joins his harem. After all, she is of age. So as long as I get my Naruto-kun time, I suppose I will let her join. At least then I will be able to know that she is with a good guy. Though I really do need to talk to Naruto about this soon. He just attracts way too many girls. Anyways, who would have guessed that my sister could have moments where she would act like that? Hinata thought, giggling for the last part. Still, after soaking for only a few minutes longer, she too got out of the bath and went to enjoy more of what currently was her best day ever. Chapter 42. Plus outside of Konoha plus. Two women were currently just a few minutes worth of a walk till they reached the village. Listen, I know you are still upset about what happened, but this needs to be done. I am sorry. One of the girls told the other, clearly not too happy with the idea herself. I know it is just too soon, and I don't even know this bastard. The other girl growled out. Shizuka, while you may still be upset, that is no excuse for insulting people. Especially someone who surely has a lot of sway in this village. The older woman scolded Shizuka. Sorry, Takiwa. This whole thing just brings me pain and sadness. Shizuka admitted. I know, but hopefully he will be good for you and help you recover. The older women told her, trying to make the depressed girl feel better. Poor girl. First her loved one dies and now we have no choice but to honor the promise made years ago. A promise that forces her to have to marry someone that she doesn't even know right after such a horrible event. Takiwa couldn't help but think as they walked, but still forced herself to remain neutral so she could finish the mission and not make the girl feel even worse about said mission. Sigh, oh, why did it have to happen to you, Sagiri-kun? Curse those bastards for taking you away just after we worked so hard to actually be able to be with each other. Shizuka thought sadly as she continued to walk, but yet refused to shed a single tear. After all, she was a proud kunoichi and refused to let other villages see her as a weak girl, even if she felt like her insides were torn to shreds. This silence stayed between the two of them for the rest of the walk as they both wallowed in their own thoughts till they reached the guards. So, what are two kunoichi of Nadeshiko village doing at our gates? Izumo asked the two girls. We are here on a mission that requires us to visit Konoha. Here is our papers. Talia told them before handing them a scroll explaining their mission, which had the seal of their village's proof. A scroll that Izumo took and quickly read over with his eyes raising slightly out of surprise. Okay, this certainly is an interesting mission. Though has Lady Tsunade-sama approved of your entry into this village? He asked after he finished reading the scroll. No, but surely she will allow such an important mission to continue, seeing as it will bring our villages closer together. Yes, it may do just that. Still, we must bring this to the attention of the Hokage before we allow you to pass. Kotetsu, take this to Lady Tsunade and explain that these two are here. Izumo ordered his fellow guard, who quickly left to do just that. Sorry Kotetsu, but there is no way I am going to explain to Tsunade that Naruto is being hunted by another village. Still, he is a lucky bastard. I mean, the girls he already has have all turned into beauties, and now he is having yet another basically brought to him. Man, I wish I had that luck. Though maybe not with the whole needing to fight for this one. Izumo thought as he watched the girls in front of him. Hokage's office. Lady Tsunade, we have two kunoichi from Nadeshiko standing at our gate. Kotetsu told the women soon after entering her office. Huh, what did they want? Tsunade asked, slightly annoyed seeing as she was just woken up from one of her productive naps. Though instead of answering, Kotetsu simply handed her the scroll, making her slightly curious. She then read through the scroll and finally let out an annoyed groan as soon as she finished. Why does that damn brat manage to cause me headaches even when I haven't even talked to him today? She thought, rubbing her temples. Sigh, let them in, but make sure they know I don't want this brought into the actual village. They can use a training ground though. Tsunade told Kotetsu, who quickly nodded and rushed back to the gate. Now Naruto, I really hope you don't die, but my hands are partially tied here. After all, if I stop them, then would start some bad blood to develop between the villages. And right now we need more allies than enemies, with the Akatsuki already moving around causing trouble. She thought before mentally giving herself a reminder to kick Jiraiya's ass for causing this problem to begin with. Konoha Gate. Okay, welcome to our village, both of you. Just remember what Lady Tsunade said. Don't cause any trouble in the village. Izumo tells the girls, who nod and walk into the village. Thanked Kami that at least went smoothly. Now, let's get a room then start looking for our target. Takiwa planned as they walked further into the busy streets of Konoha. A plan which Shizuka simply accepted with a shrug as she followed the older women. They then began to look around the village to trying to find their best option for a hotel so they could at least be a bit comfortable in an unknown village. A mission which only took a short while, much to the relief of both girls, who quickly purchased the room and began to unpack some of their less needed supplies. Shizuka then let herself fall onto the soft mattress, trying to take a few moments to relax before they had to start their search. A search that surely would be complete torture for her. Takiwa-san, can we wait till tomorrow to start the search? She asked the older women, who seemed slightly surprised. What? But we still have hours of sunshine left before, Takiwa began to say before she actually saw how tired her partner was right now. Poor girl. The depression and stress must be exhausting to try and deal with. I really wish I didn't have to even push her this hard to begin with. She thought sadly. Sure Shizuka, we can start in the morning. How about you get some rest and try to relax? Takiwa suggested to the girl, who gave her a small smile of appreciation that was clearly forced. Thank you Takiwa, she said, a bit happier knowing that said woman was at least trying to make this horrible mission as pain-free as it could be. She then closed her eyes and tried to sleep off some of the increased tension she felt. Plus a bit later. When Shizuka woke up from her short nap, she actually did feel slightly better. She also noticed the smell of food coming wafting into her nose. A smell that forced her up due to hearing her stomach growl for the food. So, she sat up and quickly noticed the takeout that her travel companion was currently eating. Good, you were up. I got you some food as well and was hoping that it wouldn't get cold before you could eat. Takiwa told the girl, who slowly walked over to the table and ate said food after quickly saying thanks. So, we still have a few hours before we should sleep. Is there anything that you want to do? Something I want to do. Well, I guess I could go see Naruto-kun and see how he is doing. Who knows, he may be able to help make this search faster so I can just get it over with, or at least possibly make me feel a bit better. Shizuka thought, remembering how caring Naruto was. Actually, there is something I want to do. I have a friend here that I haven't seen in a while, so this is the perfect time to see how they are doing. She told Takiwa, who was yet again surprised. Oh, I had no clue you ever met someone from Konoha before. She admitted. Yeah, I met a few of ninja from here a while ago while they were training near our village. So, if you don't mind, I am going to go see them now, maybe they will even be able to help us. Shizuka told her before finishing her meal and tossing it into the trash. She then walked out of the hotel. Well, I guess while she is going for a bit more help, I can get my own search started. Takiwa decided before leaving the room herself. After all, she wanted this experience to be as painless as possible for the young girl. Naruto's apartment. After only about 15 minutes of searching, Shizuka was able to locate Naruto's home. For it seemed that a good portion of the village both knew Naruto and where he lived. Though it did slightly worry her that she saw that a few people clearly weren't happy about that fact. Still, she put that to the back of her mind as she knocked on the door. Course, she was slightly surprised when instead of seeing her blonde friend, she saw a beautiful woman open the door. Hello, what can I do for you? Haku asked the girl in front of her, confused about why a random foreign kunoichi was at her in Naruto's home. Oh, I am sorry, I must have gotten the wrong house. I was looking for Naruto Uzumaki. Do you know where he is? No, you got the right house. Here, let me get him for you. Haku told the girl before shutting the door. For she decided to simply let Naruto know that she was there and let him decide if he wants to talk to her or not. So, she walked into the living room where Naruto was working on some project. Hey Naruto-kun, there is a girl from the Nadeshiko village. Do you want to talk to her? Haku asked Naruto. Huh, Nadeshiko, the only person I know from there would be Shizuka-chan, but I don't know why she would be here. Naruto mumbled before simply shrugging. Well, I guess I will just have to see why she is here, I suppose. Thank you, Haku-chan. Naruto told the girl, giving her a quick kiss on the cheek before walking to the door. Oh, so it is Shizuka-chan. What are you doing here? Naruto asked after opening the door to see the sad girl standing in front of him. Hey Naruto-kun, I came to Konoha for a mission. Anyways, can I come in and talk for a bit? She asked him, not wanting to talk about anything private out in public. Sure, come on in. Naruto told her, leading her into the living room where he quickly picked up his things and sat down in a chair. Now what do you want to talk about? He asked the girl who sat across from him, who was looking at Haku currently. Oh, sorry about that. This is Haku-chan, one of my girlfriends. Naruto told the girl, who instantly glared at him. One of? She asked with a bit of venom in her voice, causing Naruto to sweat a bit, though thankfully Haku expected this to happen when a girl found out and was prepared to save him from being killed. Yes, one of. You see, the village forced Naruto-kun to partake in the CRA program so that his clan is less likely to die out. Though I promise you that each one of us was willing to be a part of his harem, and weren't forced. Haku explained, making some of the ki in the air disappear. Okay, I guess if you are fine with living like that, who am I to judge? Shizuka told Haku, still disgusted with the idea of the CRA program being a thing. Anyways, I guess I will ignore that in favor of explaining why I am here. She added, making Naruto snap out of his fear and focus on what she was saying. You see, I am here to find someone in the village so I can fight them as required by my village's rules, and I was hoping you would be able to help us find him. She explained. Wait, why do you have to look for someone? I thought you being with Sagiri stopped you from needing to do that. Naruto asked, confused, and he then watched her already sad expression get even worse. Sagiri-kun has died. She told him in a barely audible whisper. What? How did that happen? Naruto asked, shocked. Well, you see, after you helped us get together, he still had to spend a good while with his family getting ready to come live in the village. Though while he was in his own town, apparently a group of bandits learned that they had a good amount of valuable and attacked them. They fought hard but in the end weren't able to fully repel the bandits. We found out ourselves when we searched for why they were late, only to find a good portion of the village died. Shizuka explained, crying a bit even though she was trying her hardest not to. Grr. Those bastards. We need to make sure that they get what they deserve. Naruto told her, furious that one of his friends died without him even knowing. Don't worry, we already have eradicated the bandits, seeing as they wrecked one of our supply lines and were way too close to our village. I just wish I was there to stop them from getting them in the first place. Shizuka told him, hating the fact that she wasn't able to protect her loved one. Course, in her bout of self-hate, she failed to notice that Naruto got up from his seat and sat right next to her. She only noticed when he wrapped his arms around her in a friendly hug that brought her close. Shish, Shizuka-chan, don't hate yourself because of this. There was no way you could have known that bandits were coming. We may be the protectors, but even we can't help everyone in time. Besides, Sagiri wouldn't want you to be like this. Naruto told her, trying his best to make the girl feel better. But if I went with him. She began, only for Naruto to stop her. You wouldn't have been allowed to because of your village, and you know it. Now this isn't the time to think about things you can't change. Instead, just focus on his memory and what he would have wanted. Now tell me, would he have wanted to see you so upset? Naruto asked the girl, who simply shook her head. No, of course he wouldn't. Now how about you try and focus on your good times with him, seeing as he would want you to be as happy. He told her while gently rubbing her back to try and make her feel a bit better. A hope that worked partially as she tried her best to think about only the good times, but the knowledge that he died kept popping back up into her mind, making her end up breaking through her mental fortitude and start to cry into Naruto's shoulder. Poor girl, I can understand what she is feeling right now. Haku thought, remembering how Zabuza, who was her father figure, died. But at least Naruto somehow manages to help make anyone feel better, even though he isn't the best speaker in the world. She thought with a small smile, remembering how Naruto somehow always makes people feel better. She then simply sat quietly as Shizuki cried for a few minutes until she finally got a hold of herself. Sorry, she muttered with her cheeks slightly red due to being embarrassed about her emotional breakdown. It is okay, Shizuki-chan. We all have those moments. Now what do you need help with in Konoha? Naruto asked, partially curious and partially wanting to make her think of other things besides Sagiri's death. Well, now that, happened, I am now back to being forced to keep the promise that was made years ago of fighting and possibly marrying the apprentice to the Sannin called Jiraiya. So, can you help me find this person so that I can get this torture over with? Shizuki explained, making Naruto look at her in utter shock. What? She asked, confused. Well, Shizuki-chan, the person who was trained by Jiraiya was me, he admitted to the girl, shocking her as well. Chapter 43. What? Shizuka screamed out in shock as she started at Naruto, who stayed where he was. You are who I am looking for. She yelled, shocked. Yes, the only students that Jiraiya has taken that I am aware of is my father and me, and seeing as you can't fight my father, that leaves only me. Naruto told her with a bit of dark humor. Of all people I have to fight, it has to be Naruto-kun. Shizuka thought, trying to process what she just heard. I guess this is at least some partially good news. After all, I don't have to be with someone that I know nothing about. Though this leaves me in a new predicament, seeing as I don't want to marry anyone, seeing as I still am thinking about Sagiri. But I don't want to kill him if he loses either. What am I going to do? She thought, more confused than ever. So, Shizuka, what are we going to do? I mean, I don't want to force you into something, especially after what you just went through. Plus I am sure you wouldn't be happy due to my predicament. Naruto asked. I don't know. Shizuka honestly told him. But I guess that I will have to tell Takiwa-san, but both options are horrible for me, no offense. Shizuka told him honestly, then realized that she partially insulting her friend. No offense taken, I understand what you meant, but I honestly have no idea what we are going to do other than fighting each other and see what the outcome is. Naruto told her, trying to think of some way to keep both her village happy enough to not push for something further while somehow still being able to help his friend. I guess we will have to. For what it is worth, I am sorry for dragging you into my mess again, Shizuka told him, then got up from her spot. She then walked over to the door before looking over to him. So, I guess this will be goodbye until our match, and don't worry, I will make sure that we don't come till tomorrow, goodbye. She said sadly before disappearing from the house. As soon as she left, Haku turned towards Naruto, who clearly was troubled by the predicament as well. So, why is the fact you two are fighting so bad? She asked, confused, seeing as people had spars all the time. For her village, a proper fight with a male isn't just a regular match. Instead, if I win, she has to become my wife according to their laws. Meanwhile, if I lose, then, well, it basically is a death sentence for me. Naruto explained. What? Why would any clan have a rule like that? Haku asked, finding the whole thing insane. It is a strange law. Though we worked past it before. You see, we have already fought and I won against her. Naruto explained, surprising her even more. So that means that the man that she was seeing was technically her cheating on you? Haku asked, even more confused than ever. Well, I can see why you would think that, but we made it a bit more complicated than that. You see, when I first met them they were two people that were in love, but the village's law prevented them from actually marrying. So, seeing as I became friends with both of them, I dressed up like Sagiri and fought her. Needless to say, I won and I thought it would be happy ever after, but as you can see it had an unforeseen problem. Naruto explained, finally letting Haku understand the situation. He then frowned when he thought of the continuation of what their fix did. Come to think of it, I could be the cause of his death, seeing as I made him seem like a warrior that could have handled the bandit. Naruto growled out, realizing that his friend may have lived if he didn't make him seem like a fighter that could have saved his group, thus putting him onto the front line of the fight. Oh, Naruto, you didn't know what was going to happen. Haku told him, trying to make the blonde feel better. Thanks Haku-chan, but I think I am just going to get ready for this battle and try and think of a way to have this end nicely, if possible. Naruto told her, heading into his room. Next day. Naruto sat in his kitchen eating a quick bowl of ramen while he waited for the inevitable to happen. Though this time he had to wait what felt like hours for him, when in reality it was only about an hour, until he heard a knock on the door. Hello, Naruto muttered, trying to not frown when he saw the two girls in front of him. Are you Naruto Uzumaki, student of Jiraiya the Sannin? Takiwa asked. Yes, I am, Naruto told her. Then we are here to tell you that due to a promise that your sensei made years ago to a member of the Nadeshiko village, you and Shizuka-san have to battle. If you win this match then you will take her as your bride, but if you lose then your life is forfeit, as our clan's laws dictate. Do you have any questions? She explained to him. Do we have to battle? Naruto asked, hoping the older women would know of a way to get them out of the fight altogether. I am afraid, Naruto-san, that the option of not fighting is not available to you. If you do not fight her now then we will have no choice but to get the battle started by nearly any means necessary. She told him with a straight face. Please just accept the battle. After all, the Hokage already ordered us to not cause a scene. I would rather not cause political turmoil for this, even if this is a vital part to keeping our village thriving. Takiwa thought, nervous. So basically if I try to ignore this fight then they will either follow me until I do fight her or attack me right now. Something which would harm the village I promised to protect. I hope I can think of a way to make this work out as nicely as it possibly can. Naruto thought. Okay then, I suppose I have no choice then, follow me. Naruto told them before running to the nearest training ground, with the two girls following closely after him. Now, this fight will have two separate ways to end. Either the challenger, in this case Naruto-san, you win by forcing Shizuka-san to surrender. Shizuka-san, you win by killing your opponent. Do you both understand? She asked, getting nods from both of them. Then let this match begin. She told them, swinging her arm down in between both of them before jumping out of the way. As soon as she said this, Naruto and Shizuka rushed at each other and began to fight using simple taijutsu. A spar that ended when Shizuka landed a heavy blow onto Naruto's chin, sending him into the air, where she then kicked him in the gut, launching him into a tree several feet away, where he landed with a heavy thud. Well, she really is taking this serious. Naruto mumbled out after a groan left his mouth. Though I do suppose it would only cause more problems if she didn't, he added before refocusing on the match. He still stayed on the ground in front of the tree but quickly slammed his hand onto the ground, confusing the two girls watching him. Still, Shizuka quickly got over this and rushed at the downed blonde with a kunai in hand. Course she only made it a few steps before a blue chain launched out of the ground and wrapped around her leg before she could stop it. Naruto looked at her with an evil smirk and pulled the chain out from the ground. He then pulled on his chakra chain and used it to swing Shizuka back first into a tree, or would have had she turned her around at the last moment so that she instead was able to take the impact on her arms. A blow that was lessened with chakra reinforcement. She then forced her own chakra into the chain, disrupting it enough to break her leg free from the chain. She then quickly brought her hand up and formed a ball of fast-moving chakra in it and quickly launched the spiraling wind ball at Naruto, who rolled out of the way. A successful dodge that meant little, seeing as she was launching several more at Naruto, forcing him to keep moving to not take the impact. So he quickly rolled behind a tree that quickly took a blow for him that was hard enough to take out a large chunk of the wood. Still the tree survived enough to give him enough time to stand up, and he quickly coated his hat in dense wind chakra and pushed his hand at the tree, releasing his hold on the chakra, letting it launch out at the tree. Needless to say, the already injured tree couldn't handle the blow and broke apart into splinters that launched towards Shizuka, forcing her to jump to the side to not be injured by the wood. Well, at least I know the Gale Palm has more than one use. Naruto thinks happily, launching himself at Shizuka as fast as he could. Now of course she saw this coming and quickly grabbed another kunai and swung at Naruto, who quickly was coming at her. Then as soon he was close enough, she tried to stab him, only to have Naruto surprise her yet again by rolling underneath her, stab getting behind her. She quickly tried turning to protect herself but found a spinning mass of chakra that was the Rasengan already at her head before she could do anything about it. Surrender, Naruto ordered her, and she quickly dropped the kunai to the ground, accepting the fact that there was nothing she could do. The winner is Naruto Uzumaki, Takiwa declared, and then watched as Naruto let the chakra disperse and moved away from Shizuka. Now Naruto-san, seeing as you are officially the winner, you are now the fiancé of Shizuka-san here. So, let's go get the paperwork started to transfer you to our village. Takiwa told them, shocking Naruto. Wait, what do you mean transfer papers? He asked, confused. Well, we need you in our village, of course. After all, Shizuka is the leader of the Nadeshiko village and is needed. So, you will have to come with us so that you can possibly produce the next leader with her. Takiwa told him, making him blush at the idea of creating the heir part. Now, enough of this, let's go to the Hokage and get this started. She added before placing a hand on Naruto's shoulder and used the Shunshin to head to the Hokage tower before Naruto could do anything to prevent it. Course this just made Shizuka shake her head and chase after them both. Hokage tower, Hokage's office. Absolutely not. Tsunade growled at the women in front of her. In all respect, Hokage-sama, due to Naruto's san whining, he is married to her, so through the village's rule he must be with her. Then leave her here and they will be together. Tsunade argued. We can't, she is needed to lead the village. Well, we need Naruto because he is the last heir to two of our important clans, and because of another reason, besides he already has relationships here. What, he is married already? I don't think our laws have ever had a situation like this, Takiwa said, surprised, trying to think of what this could possibly mean. While they were arguing, both Naruto and Shizuka were simply sitting on a nearby couch watching the madness happen. Okay, this is getting nowhere, I need to stop this, but how? Naruto thought before getting a partial idea that he decided to go with, hoping he could finish it on the fly. Hold up, Naruto told both of them while standing up from his seat. Both of you are making valid points, but you got to remember that I am a part of this as well. So, due to my status as leader of two clans of Konoha and being under its CRA, I have too many attachments to allow me to leave the village. Meanwhile, Shizuka is the same way, with needing to help her village run smoothly. So, how about we instead go for the one idea that makes sense? Shizuka and me can get married, but instead of having it be a regular one, we can form a bond between the two villages by having two significant parts get married. Now to make this work, we can set up a. Naruto began before looking around and noticing a date on a scroll. Dates that we meet and be together. Naruto finished telling the adults, happy that his partial plan seemed to work, but was also blushing due to what his last sentence could be taken as. How, you know, the brat could be onto something there. Tsunade muttered. Yes, that could work, but I would need to speak to the village. Takiwa agreed. That is fine, and please feel free to take all the time you need. Naruto told the women, who nodded and turned to Shizuka. I guess we need to get packed up then. I am sure that this idea will take a while to get worked out, so we must leave as early as possible so it can be done as quick as possible. Go get packed. She told the girl, who nodded with a smile on her face. Naruto's plan, while not perfect, not only ended relatively good but also gives me the time to properly mourn my poor love's death. I don't know if you did this on purpose or not, but thank you, Naruto. Shizuka thought happily, and before she could stop herself gave him a quick hug and a kiss on the cheek before running off to pack. Course, what Naruto didn't know was that as soon as she left the office, her face turned bright red due to embarrassment. Oh, why did I do that, and in front of people as well? She complained to herself, blushing. Meanwhile, Naruto simply stood in the room rubbing his cheek, confused. I don't think I will ever fully understand what goes on in a girl's mind. Naruto thinks, looking at the door. Chapter 44. Takiwa and Shizuka, trip back to village. Shizuka was now walking back to her own village with a very small smile on her face. After all, not only did she not get stuck with having to marry a complete stranger, but she also had some time before she had to commit to said marriage. Which was even better than the best scenario she imagined. Shizuka-san, you do realize that even though you may have managed to get away with not taking him home, there will still be a lot of problems to deal with when we reach the village. Takiwa told the girl honestly. What do you mean? We did exactly what the village laws required me to do. Yes, you did, but you were also supposed to bring him back to the which you didn't do. And before you start the argument that your husband has several holes that will have to be dealt with. So, in other words, the council will be figuring out the best course of action for this, something that will require you to be present for the entire time. Takiwa told the girl, who grimaced at what she meant. So, in other words, I am going to have to spend hours listening to the council argue and try and decide stuff for me. She realized with a groan. Why can't I just get rid of the council? At least the old council, who are way too stuck in the old ways of the village. Shizuka complained. Sigh, like I told you last time you asked, they simply have too much sway with the village's people. So while technically you could get rid of them due to you being the leader, if you did so, they could and more than likely would rally up a good portion of the village to cause a rebellion at worst, or chaos at best. So while you may not like them, it is better in the long run to just have to face them rather than a section of the village. Sigh. Why does politics have to be so complex? She complained, but still continued on, now determined to get the best plan she could without causing a rebellion. I may have a lot of work to do, I have at least a decent amount of time to grieve. And to be honest, even if there is no way for me to stop the marriage, there is far worse people to spend my life with. She thought, seeing as she was well aware of just how kind and caring her friend is. Konoha, Hokage office. Tsunade was currently looking through a report with a frown firmly stuck to her face. Kami, damn it. First Jiraiya manages to mess with Naruto and me with something that will surely be a political mess for weeks on end. Now I get this find from a patrol that shows that my other ex-teammate has left me problems as well. Grr, why is it that recently all of my problems have been caused by the two idiots I had to deal with for years on end? Tsunade thought angrily before slamming the scroll down onto her desk. Someone get me Tenzo, and some good sake. She yelled to seemingly no one, though if someone was to focus closely they would notice a brief blur. A few minutes later Tenzo came into her office carrying a bottle of what could only be assumed to be sake. You asked for me, Lady Tsunade? He asked her kindly. Yes, but first hand me the sake. She ordered while holding her hand out for the bottle. Tenzo quickly gave her the bottle and stood there watching as she took several big gulps of the alcohol. I will never be able to imagine just how much sake you have to drink before you can literally drink strong sake like it is water while seemingly not even getting a buzz. Tenzo thought as he watched his leader. Ah, I needed that. Tsunade mumbled out after finally finishing her first sip of her drink. Now I called you here for more than just my booze, of course, but first remove your mask. Tsunade ordered, and he quickly did just that, showing his rather expressionless face. For this mission you will be a Jonin by the name of Yamato, leading a team into one of Orochimaru's bases that was discovered recently. You will be leading Naruto Uzumaki and Sakura Haruna, along with, Tsunade began before being interrupted. Lady Tsunade, do you really think it is wise to have those two do anything having to deal with Orochimaru? Yamato asked, concerned about if they would be able to focus. Well, Yamato, to be honest with you, I have picked those two not because of my own personal idea but simply because they along with you have the best chance to successfully look through one the snake bastard's bases. You see, while it is supposedly empty, there still will be traps and other surprises if I know that snake good enough. So, it would be best to have the best medical ninja we can spare to go to be able to provide immediate help to the team, namely Sakura. As for Naruto, well, I looked through his records myself, and to be quite honest, it would be a challenge for me to create a poison strong enough to not be dealt with by his Uzumaki blood. She told him honestly, remembering the time she actually tried to kill a sample of Naruto's blood with common poisons only to watch as it somehow had no effect. Also, the reason that I am sending you instead of Kakashi is simply due to you having two unique qualities that he doesn't. One, you have actually already been in one of the snake's bases, and two, you are able to help Naruto if he does lose control. She explained, added in knowing that would be his next question. And while that sounds like a decent plan, Lady Tsunade, may I make a suggestion for the last member of this team? A new voice asked politely, making them both look behind Yamato to see Danzo standing in the doorway. And who would you suggest to go on this mission? She asked, keeping her tone peaceful, but everyone could see how much she disliked the man in front of her. Well, while you have planned everything for if the team gets poisoned, how about we add someone who will be able to prevent them from running into them in the first place? So, I recommend a ninja I have personally been training named Sai, who specializes in gathering information. After all, having him there could very well save the team from being stuck in an ambush or wasting time waiting for the medic to deal with a poison. He told her, making complete sense. Damn, him, I don't want any help from this bastard who surely is only thinking of ways to help himself, but his reasoning is too good for me to think of a way to prevent him from having his ninja come. Tsunade thought angrily as she clenched her fist. Very well, have your ninja be ready in 2 hours at the northern gate. Tsunade told him, getting a small nod before Danzo left the room and began to go do just that. She then turned her attention back to Yamato. Do not let this ninja he has recommended out of your sight. There is no way that old Warhawk would recommend someone if they wouldn't be helping him in some way. She told him and got a nod from the man. Good, now go prepare for the mission. I will send out my Anbu to let the other two know of the mission now. She told him and watched as both he and one of her hidden Anbu left the room. This mission isn't going to go as smoothly as I hope it will, I just know it. Tsunade thought with a frown. Plus 1 hour 55 minutes later. Naruto and Sakura were currently standing by the gate waiting on the other two members of their team when all of a sudden, they had to jump out of the way of a massive black beast that pounced on the spot they were standing moments ago. What the hell? Naruto yelled out in surprise, not expecting to be attacked in his own village. He then noticed the beast turn and prepare to attack them again, only for it to be stopped in its tracks by one strong punch from Sakura. Course, even she was surprised when she saw the beast explode into black liquid instead of being launched away from them. Due to this, she missed the small black snake that came at her from a blind spot and only managed to get out of the way thanks to Naruto shoving her. They both then look around and notice a single man on a nearby rooftop. So, Naruto quickly launched a chain at the figure only for him to jump to another building and sit down. The figure then began to draw and only stopped when he felt the cold steel of a kunai on his neck. Though instead of being worried about said kunai, the man simply looked over to where Naruto was still standing with a chain coming from his hand near Sakura. A perfectly hidden substitution with a clone, impressive. The man told Naruto, who paid no attention to the fact that Sakura jumped up behind him. Enough with the compliments. Why the hell did you attack us? Naruto asked angrily. No need to get mad, I just read that before you start a mission with new people it is best to get a good idea of what they can do. He told Naruto with a clearly fake smile. That doesn't mean you attack your teammates completely out of the blue. Naruto growled at him. Listen, Sai. Sai. If you attack us again I will take it as you treating both the mission and our lives and deal with it properly. Is that understood? Naruto told Sai while releasing a decent amount of ki after moving his kunai from the teen's neck. Understood, Tiny Dick-san. Sai told him with a smile, causing Naruto to growl at the insult. Huh, that's strange. I thought this book said that giving others nicknames was a good way to become closer with people. Sai muttered with a small frown while taking out a book about friendships, causing both Naruto and Sakura to look at him in disbelief. What the hell is with this guy? Naruto, though still annoyed with his nickname. This weirdo is going to make this mission so much worse than it already will be. Sakura thought, nearly crying out of annoyance. Lucky for her, Yamato came to greet them, changing her focus. Hello all of you. So, are you all ready for the mission? He asked cheerfully and got 3 nods from the group in front of him. Okay, so as you know we are going to be examining one of Orochimaru's secret bases. Now this will be dangerous due to the fact that traps and who knows what else is more than likely going to be found. So, when we get there we will make sure that we go as safely as possible. So, Sai, you will be taking the lead with the ink beasts that Lord Danzo says you are good with. Your job is to try and let us know of as many traps as possible so we won't get blindsided. Then it will be Naruto and my turn to go in for us to hopefully be able to fully deactivate all the traps that we come to. Finally Sakura, you will be the last person in due to you being our key player if any one of us gets hurt from something down there. Now is there any questions? Yamato asks completely serious. Yay, do we really have to work with this weirdo? Naruto mentally asked, glancing over at the pale teen beside him. Still he shook his head no, like all the rest of them. Okay then, let's head out. Yamato tell them, and with that they begin to rush towards where the found base. A trip that was quiet before Sakura decided to try and get to know a bit about her new partner. So, Sai, what exactly were those creatures you tested us with? Those were my drawings. My jutsu allows me to have anything I draw be able to be used in the real world. Sai told her blandly. Huh, so you just have a scroll filled with a bunch of those creatures ready to fight with? She asks, picturing how terrifying an army of black beasts would look to anyone they were fighting. My last try in making a friendship ended horribly. Maybe this is my chance to create one with Sakura, and then I will be able to get on the Jinchuriki's good side easier. Sai thought and quickly decided that he would partially break one of Danzo's rules in order to help his mission. He just wouldn't give them enough information that they could use it against him. No, my jutsu needs me to put my chakra into the ink as I create them. They then siphon off my chakra to stay usable until I give them enough to come to life. He tells her honestly. So if you did try and create an army, they would basically feed off of you until you had no chakra to actually fight with when it came time to use them. Interesting. Sakura admitted, partially curious about the new type of jutsu she saw. Hey Naruto, maybe you should take some drawing lessons and use this jutsu as well. Maybe when some of your chakra is siphoned off you will be actually able to control it a bit. She teased. Oi, my chakra control is way better than it was thanks to actually needing control for my bloodline. Naruto growled at the girl. Course I still can't really do a decent genjutsu or any medical jutsu, he whispers out, as well annoyed that even with all of the time he spent on chakra control those two types of jutsu were still locked from him. Meh, even if it is annoying, at least I don't really need either of those fields. I mean, I can dispel genjutsu decently, and for medical, well, I have never really stayed hurt in way I could actually do something to myself before I healed anyways. After all, most of my fights tend to either be some crazy killing blow that takes me a while to heal while I am down, or simply continued until it was over with the Kyuubi's chakra healing me up. He thought. Course Sakura seemed to want to respond with another comment before they all noticed Yamato get more focused all of a sudden. Okay, we are at the location. Now remember our plan, Yamato told them, and they all got focused on the task at hand. So, Sai quickly made dozens of ink mice that rushed into the base's opening. Their group then waited for about 20 minutes before the mice came back to Sai, and they watched as they formed back into the paper but somehow seemed to form into words. There are at least 20 traps spread throughout the building, with a room that was sealed off completely that my mice were unable to squeeze into. Sai told them quietly. Yamato simply nodded and signaled for them to move in. An order that they was immediately followed as Naruto and Yamato took the lead and Sai and Sakura followed them. The base when they entered didn't look like anything too special. In fact, currently all they saw was a straight stone hallway that was big enough for two people to walk through side by side comfortably. Though along this path there were several doors, and the path clearly continued on in another direction at the end. They continued their search, taking it slow and carefully examining each room that they came to. While they did so, they deactivated all the traps that they knew of thanks to Sai's searching. Though they were unable to see if anyone recently came into the base due to the tracks that Sai's mice left ruining any tracks they could have seen. Course that was only a minor annoyance for them. Instead they focused on the building itself. For each room they entered already seemed to be something that would come out of a true horror film. For event, though none of the rooms they were in currently had much of anything in them, they each had a good amount of blood and gore that had long since hardened on the cold floor. They also found a room which seemed to keep record of the subjects being taken in, as there were several scrolls filled with various names and a small amount of information that wasn't of any use to them. Though they finally began to see even more of the base's horrors as they turned the corner and saw a medium-sized room that had a few tables on the side that had various weapons, though showed signs of being cleared out of a good portion of the tools it originally held. From this room there was two other doors. One that led to a room that was filled with countless jars holding various organs in various colored fluids. Thankfully the other side seemed to simply be a small living area for about a dozen people. Damn, this place is awful. Naruto mumbles, disgusted with what he already has seen. Yes, but sadly this doesn't seem to be one of Orochimaru's main bases. It seems this is just a place he had a few researchers do their studies. But they had to leave suddenly by the looks of it. I wonder why, Yamato told him as he kept his focus on the last area they had to search. Which was the sealed room that Sai was unable to give them any information on. They looked to be relatively normal doors that you would expect to see in a hospital. Except these swinging doors had a large seal on it that currently seemed to have a small amount of chakra somehow flowing through it, if what Yamato sensed was correct. Something that shouldn't be possible due to how long the rest of the base seemed to be abandoned for. Why does this door seem to have some chakra flowing through it? It should have burnt out long ago if the dust around here is anything to go off of. Sakura questioned, coming to the same question Yamato had. Course Sai simply walked closer to the door and noticed a small table that had spots where the dust clearly was displaced. It seems that someone was here recently. Sai tells the team who tense up and make sure that they were ready to fight. Well, whoever they were, they have to have either charged the door and left or clocked it behind them. Naruto told them before looking at the seal. This large seal is just a simple lock mechanism that will keep the door shut for as long as it is powered. It also has a storage mark here, letting it run for at least a month if given about an A-rank jutsu worth of chakra. Naruto explained, looking at the seal. But it seems that there has been something else added as well. He adds in when he notices that the circle of writing seemed to be a bit more cluttered than it needed to be. While he was trying to figure this out though, Sai was also looking around the table next to it with a small amount of curiosity. Eventually Sai managed to find a scroll that was mostly covered in papers besides an edge that had Experiment 62-1B on it. So, due to wanting to find out about the base, he picked up the scroll and failed to notice the small blue glow that came from under the papers he ignored. Luckily Naruto managed to see the glow and followed it as it quickly came closer to the main seal. Shit! He yelled out before tackling Sai back to where Sakura and Yamato was and quickly put up a chakra shield. While he did this, the chakra reached the door's main seal and made it shine bright blue for just a few seconds before the entire thing exploded, leaving a massive hole in the wall where the door used to be. Cough, cough, what happened? Sakura asked as she tried keeping herself from breathing in the dust that was kicked up from the blast. The seal had a recent addition to it that connected it to another random seal. I was trying to figure out where the other seal was until Sai managed to set it off. Turns out it was apparently a proximity seal that was connected to another storage of chakra. Said chakra was released from the second seal and flooded the door's seal until it destabilized, and this was the result. Naruto explained, waving his hand at the hole. How did removing a simple scroll manage to cause all of this? Yamato asked, not expecting seals to be so complex. Let me see the scroll for a second. Naruto ordered, and Sai shrugged and gave it to him. He then quickly looked it over and found a small seal. Ah, you see this? He asked them, pointing at the small mark. This is a relatively new seal that the Tsuchinkage's sealers developed. It is a modified storage seal that holds chakra into something. They changed it so that there was what could best be described as a lock to said chakra that can only be opened when a certain part of the seal is removed. In this case, that part of the seal was written on a scroll that let the chakra free as soon as it was picked up. Naruto explained, remembering when he spent days studying the seal with Jiraiya in one of the man's hideouts. Well, I guess it is safe to say that someone expected us here, though they may not know that we survived that explosion. So, we will move in silently from here on out and try to figure out if the person that set this trap is still here waiting for us. Stay armed at all times. Yamato ordered, grabbing out a kunai and holding it in his offhand. He then watched as Naruto and Sakura did the same, and Sai drew his tanto out of its sheath and held it in a reverse grip. He then began to cautiously walk into the room that seemed to have a small amount of sunlight somehow coming from the roof. Now I may have forgotten what they are properly called. What size weapon is the small knife he normally carried on his back? I think we'll look into it, but for now it isn't super important. The rest of the group followed Yamato in on for them all to tense up as the room suddenly got brighter as torches around the massive room's walls lit on fire. Without cause. What this revealed made Sakura release an involuntary gasp as she saw at least 100 bodies strewn around the ground in various states of decay. Lovely, isn't it? They suddenly hear from across the room, causing the team to quickly look over and notice that they now were in the presence of Orochimaru himself. All of these experiments dying off, showing just how much of a success Sasuke-kun's training is. Orochimaru told then with a twisted smile. Sasuke did all of this? Naruto asked, disgusted, seeing as most of these bodies clearly showed that they weren't ninja. In fact, a good amount of them could have been normal citizens that were forced to fight if the clothes were anything to go off of. Yes. Isn't it wonderful? All of these failed experiments doing their final duty to show that my Sasuke-kun is growing to be just as I wanted him to be. Orochimaru told them, still smiling. How could Sasuke-kun do this? Sakura asked, horrified that he would perform what appeared to be a needless slaughter. Oh, don't worry, none of the experiments were needed anymore. Haha, actually, if I remember correctly, I made them give Sasuke his test by telling the fools that they would be set free if they won. Too bad they failed to get close to their hopeless goal. Orochimaru told them, chuckling. He then noticed that Naruto was completely tense and was already leaking out a small amount of the Kyuubi's chakra as his rage began to clearly show and Ki began to fill the room slightly. Now Naru-chan, as much as I would love to play with you, I am too busy at the moment preparing my perfect subject. Orochimaru taunted Naruto with a smile, then easily dodged the chain that was launched at his head. Oh, don't worry Naru-chan, I have made sure that you will get to have some fun as well, even if I can't fight you. Now have fun clearing out the last of one of my training bases. He told the group before quickly disappearing before any one of them could think of following him. Then watched as something seeming clogged the holes in the roof as they saw the light quickly fade while a small amount of dirt and stone fell to the ground. What the hell did he mean by that? Naruto asked, now confused and feeling like something bad was coming soon enough. I don't know, but let's get out of here and try to see if we can get some information about where Orochimaru went to before we finish the mission. Yato told them, and they all turned around and were going to run back out of the hole before they heard some noise coming from behind a door on the other side of the large room. What the hell? Sakura mumbles out, trying to figure out what was coming. Needless to say, they quickly turned back around and prepared themselves to fight whatever was coming from that door. A door that was soon launched open by the thing's force, showing them all what they were going against. And what they saw truly horrified all of them except for Sai, who seemed to only go a bit of a shade paler if possible. Grr, Orochimaru, you inhumane bastard. Naruto growled out, beyond pissed at what he saw. Chapter 45. Damn that bastard, Naruto growled out and quickly wrapped a few seals onto kunai that he then launched around the room. Said seals then began to glow, giving the room a small amount of light, letting the group refocus on the new thing. For soon after Orochimaru left, the door behind him opened up to show a sickly-looking figure before the darkness started to swallow the ninja. Now with the light back though, they were able to get a clear view of the creature in front of them. A creature that for the most part looks human, though it clearly had some tests run on it, seeing as it had scales upon its arms and clawed fingers. In fact, at this point, they weren't sure that they would be able to call the man in front of them human after all the mutations. Thought the one thing that made it worse was the lifeless look the man was giving them. It was the eyes of a man that long since died inside and was simply a shell of what he once was. Thus making him more of a creature than human, seeing as his human side seemed to be dormant at best. Course, before they could focus anymore on the man in front of them, a noise behind the man made them look past him and see that there was about a dozen more that were all in various stages of mutation. Though sadly each one of them had the same lifeless eyes as the first one. Okay team, let's take these people out. Yamato ordered the three ninja, getting small nod in course. Soon after he said this, they had only seconds worth of time before the group was closing in on them. Thankfully though, this group of mutations seemed to be relatively slow. What the fuck is that bastard doing to people? Naruto mumbled out as he prepared to face their newest enemy. A statement that all but one of them was thinking as well. It seems that Orochimaru has been creating soldiers that by the look of things don't have much free will. I wonder how he manages his training regimen. Sai thinks mentally, noting that Lord Danzo would like to have information on these new kind of soldiers. Still, he pushed that thought aside when they closed in on them and quickly began to draw a few lions to fight with. Meanwhile, he noticed that Sakura was seemingly getting ready to use her super strength when they got close, while he couldn't get a read on Yamato. Though of course Naruto was the one who had enough of waiting for them and rushed one of the many that were attacking. Said blonde rushed at the first man with a kunai in hand and easily dodged the slow punch that the man gave him. He quickly took advantage of the opening and slit the man's throat, ending the threat. Course this only added to their disgust. What the hell? Why do they have black blood? Naruto asked, looking both at his blade and the puddle forming close to him. These guys have this tar-like substance as blood. Naruto informs everyone, who were of course noticing the same thing. Course now that they knew this, they also couldn't help but notice the black veins that could clearly be seen on the men. Worry about the experiments Orochimaru's done later. For now just eliminate the threat. Yamato ordered the blonde, who quickly refocused and helped dispose of the rest of the people coming from the depths of the base. Course their group quickly noticed one thing that felt strange to them. The enemy that they were facing were truly not up to ninja caliber. In fact, from what they saw, even a group of normally trained swordsmen could take care of this group easily. They wouldn't even need samurai training. In fact, it truly made their fight become more of a ninja versus civilian battle, which made them feel even worse for having to kill what probably were just that before Orochimaru caught them. Course right when they began realizing just how easy of a fight they were having, a few of the men began to have smoke coming off of them right when they got close. A fact that made all their eyes widen slightly as they quickly jumped far away from the few, burning, men who soon after exploded, sending black blood and chunks of body everywhere. Though thankfully they were all able to avoid the blast. Che, damn, those bastards didn't kill you with that. A voice from the dark chamber the test subjects were coming from rung out to them. They then saw a rather small man that currently had a lab coat on and large circular glasses. Come on, you damn beasts, Lord Orochimaru wants these bastards dead. You are ruining your first trial run. Pick up the pace and kill these ninja. The man ordered the test subjects that began moving at a slightly faster pace at the Konoha group, only to quickly meet their end like all the others. Oh come on, you useless cannon fodder. The man growled out, kicking the head of one of the dead ones that laid next to him. Sigh, I guess if you want something done you have to do it yourself. The man told them, looking over at the ninja with insanity clear in his eyes. Still they could do nothing but watch as the man took a small syringe and injected it into his own neck with an insane smile. Prepare yourselves, ninja. I am about to become stronger than you could ever imagine. He yelled at them and began laughing hysterically. That was until he felt a jolt of pain and couldn't help but stop laughing and place a hand on his chest trying to ease the pain. Raa! He screamed out as he felt true pain as the transformation began. The man first seemed to have his skin turn red, and then he clearly began to get more noticeable muscles that were seen to all as he ripped off his own clothes to try and scratch at what was clearly causing him immense pain. Still his transformation continued until he ended up looking like a bodybuilder that had a bad case of sunburn on his entire body. Course at this point he was now on his knees panting. Meanwhile the ninja could do nothing but watch the change as the test subjects held them back through sheer numbers due to not wanting to waste chakra on killing off the weak horde. Still they were beginning to get annoyed, seeing as the number of men around them that lay dead was already at least in the hundreds, with apparently no end to them. Ha! They heard as they continued to fight and looked over at the insane man who now was beginning to stand up while breathing heavy. Ha! That hurt like a bitch. The man mumbled out, but then looked down at his hands. But that is a small price to pay for this power I feel. He yelled out insanely before laughing as he felt energy flowing through his body. He then punched a nearby wall and watched happily as the wall gained several cracks on it. Yes, I am invincible now. He called out with a wide smile on his face. He then looked over at the ninja, who saw that the whites of his eye turned a sickening yellow color and his pupils were extremely small. Prepare for your deaths, bastards. He yelled at them and quickly grabbed a katana that one of the earlier test subjects had brought to fight with. A blade that he swung at Yamato as soon as he was in range, but paid no mind to the fact that with said swing he cut into one of his own men and cut another in half. Still said swing didn't stop and Yamato had to quickly block the blow with his kunai and began a power struggle as the insane man tried to push past his kunai. Beginning to feel fear from my power? The man asked Yamato with a large smile on his face. I bet you are beginning to feel your arm shake as you try and hold back my immense power. But it is only a matter of time before I get you. He told Yamato with his grin growing and began to swing randomly at the man. This man, while trying to act like he has godly power, really only seems to be a chunin strength at best, not to mention that due to his clear lack of training he is more likely to be classified as a genin threat level. He must not realize that Orochimaru thinks of him as little more than cannon fodder. Yamato thought neutrally as he almost felt bad for the delusional man. Still he looked out the corner of his eye and saw that his team all were preparing to help him in some way. No, do not use any jutsu here. We don't know what was used on these test subjects or if we can be infected by anything they have on them if it is aerosolized by a seemingly harmless jutsu. Yamato told them, already imagining Naruto using a wind just you that sprayed the black substance into the air, while Sakura used a chakra-enhanced punch to crush a few bodies and accidentally launch some of the substance that was already on the ground through a shock wave. As for Sai, well, he really didn't know the boy's jutsu besides his ink creatures, which actually were still out and fighting. Still, the man shuddered at the thought of having to have more of the unknown substance on him. He would rather have a smaller amount get on him and his team from using weapons against the army than being coated thanks to a jutsu any day. Don't worry, this man won't be enough to take me out, Yamato explained to his group, which nodded in acceptance. He then heard a growl next to him and noticed the scientist clearly was enraged by his comment. Weak am I will show you, he screamed at Yamato, but said man wasn't in Anbu for no reason. So he simply watched the man's attack come in at a slow pace compared to what he normally faced. He then quickly blocked said attack and took out another kunai that he thrusted forward, intending to hit the insane man in the heart. Course he apparently took his approach too slow, as the man tried to jump back to avoid the attack, only to end up letting himself be hit in the side in what even he knew would be a fatal blow. What? How were you able to beat me? The man asked, shocked as he looked at Yamato, who was now a small distance away from him. He also noticed that most of the army of test subjects were basically dealt with as well. He then remembered that Orochimaru tended to kill those that had no use to him anymore. No, that couldn't be true. I mean, I am one of the scientists that did all this early work on the formula. I couldn't just be thrown away. The man thought as he felt his own life give away while Yamato came closer to seemingly end his slower death as a final act of mercy. He then had the memory of everyone packing up the supplies as he was ordered to stay here by the head scientist for a test run. Finally, the truth that he was truly tossed away dawned on him. No, damn it, I didn't want my life to go this way. I was supposed to become a god among men with the help of Orochimaru. He thought sad. He then looked at the man who was now getting ready to end him. If I have to go, I will at least show those bastards that I wasn't useless by completing this mission. He thought and quickly pulled on the small amount of chakra he was able to mold. He then quickly took a seal out of his pocket and slammed it down on the floor while pushing said chakra into the seal. Ha 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 ha. If I have to die, I am at least taking you bastards with me thanks to the self-destruct key I found. Ha ha ha. He told them, laughing with his eyes closed as Yamato's kunai pierced through his heart. Course the damage was already done, seeing as they now could see seals all over the base begin to glow. Damn it, Yamato growled out as he ran closer to the group, knowing they had no chance to leave the base. So, instead he ran at the rest of his team with an idea at a desperate attempt to save their lives. An idea that Naruto seemed to share as he grabbed Sakura and pulled her close to him as Yamato did the same to Sai, leaving them closely huddled up. He then ran through hand signs as fast as he could. Wood style. He began to call out as he saw a bubble of chakra begin to form around the group, and then everything around them exploded. Outside, a ways away. Orochimaru was standing on a hill looking at where his base used to be, simply smiling at the explosion, while Kabuto did the same. Kabuto then simply pushed his glasses up on his nose and looked at his teacher. Well, at least we got some information from that test run, and I don't even need to make sure they didn't get any valuable information. Kabuto told him. Kabuto-kun always so cold even when thinking about poor scientist Kun's death, but at least he let us play a bit more with Naruto boy. Orochimaru told his student. Now let's go, he told the man, and they both disappeared from the hill. Is everyone okay? Naruto asked as he got up from the ground and looked around, using the slight glow his chakra gave the small bubble they were in. For thankfully they just had enough time for his barrier to build around them, but also for Yamato's wood shield to completely cover them as well. Somehow, Sakura mumbles as she sat up herself and watched as the other two got up as well, seemingly unhurt as well. Now how do we get free? She asked the group, figuring that they were now basically stuck in a small pocket underneath who knows how much dirt and stone. In fact, she was now beginning to fear the idea of being suffocated to death even after they managed to survive ground zero of the blast. Hey, Well, I actually think I have an idea for that, but I am gonna need you guys to help as well. Naruto told them, getting them all to listen to him. Plus few seconds later. I can't believe I have to do this. Sakura muttered, a bit annoyed as she currently carried her teammate on her back as they slowly began walking. For Naruto's idea was simple but yet surprising for the team. For he currently was using his chakra molding as a sort of large drill in front of them that was making a tunnel up. He also had a shield that made it so that the dirt and stone he cut through was being pushed to either side of where the small group was. Now she had to carry him due to the fact that this level of chakra molding forced him to be in an almost meditative focus so that it would work properly, thus making it so that he was unable to move. She had to be the one to do so though, because Yamato was helping out by putting wooden support beams up every now and then to try and keep the tunnel around them as steady as possible, even though several sections that they already went through had filled back up with the loose dirt and stone the explosion caused, and well, she understood why he completely refused to let Sai carry him. So, they just continued on without much talking due to their oxygen decreasing with every second that passed. Thankfully though, they eventually pierced through to see actual sun, much to all their relief. If I ever have to go into a cave ever again, it will be too soon. Naruto says happily as he flops onto the ground, actually a bit tired after using who knows how much chakra to dig, not to mention the fact that due to him being moved and not completely focused, he also was wasting a bit of chakra as well. For once I actually agree with you, Naruto. Sakura tell him as she sits in the grass next to him. I just wish that I could have gotten a sample to study of whatever Orochimaru did to those people. She complains a bit before seeing an ink bottle in front of her face. She then looks up and sees Sai with his fake smile looking down at her, and she takes the bottle from him. Why are you giving me ink? She asks the man, confused. It's not ink, it is a sample. While my ink creatures were fighting, I decided to collect a bit of a sample, seeing as our mission was to look into what Orochimaru was doing. I used an ink bottle because, well, that's all I had. Sai told her, really only giving her half the truth. The village needs to know of the blood, so if Lord Danzo decides to use it, then it wouldn't put up as much of an alert. Sai thought as he gave it to her. For in actuality he had a few test tubes that Danzo gave him just in case he needed to collect something. Those were now sitting safely in his bag, while Sakura, the village, would get the larger sample that was contaminated by the ink residue in the bottle simply to make it more believable. Smart move, Sai. We hopefully will be able to learn about this stuff. Sakura told him, truly thankful, seeing as she was already planning some of her own medical research to do with the blood. Anyways, we clearly aren't going to be getting anything else from this base, so we should go complete our mission. Yamato tells them, getting everyone to focus on him as he turns to Naruto. Do you need some time to recover before we move? Nope, I should be good. Naruto told him honestly while jumping back onto his feet. Okay, then let's get back to the village, and be cautious. Orochimaru could try and stop us from getting the information back to the village at any point. Yamato tells the group before they all sped off towards the village as fast as they could. Chapter 46. Team 7 ran from what used to be the hidden base as fast as they could and quickly made it back home, thankfully not getting attacked by any enemies. Still, they kept up their pace just to make sure that they got the information back safely. Even going as far as to run straight through the night. Konoha. Finally, after their long run, Team 7 made it back home and quickly were able to pass through the gate. Phew, finally home after that craziness. Naruto calls out happily, not even minding that they were all still covered in dust from being buried alive. Yes, thankfully. Though we still need to report to Tsunade-sama, Yamato agreed, panting a bit after the long run. I guess, but maybe after a bit of reward ramen after a successful mission. Naruto told him, beginning to walk away from the group, only for Sakura to grab onto the back of his shirt, pulling him back. No, we are going to speak with her now. Sakura told him before dragging him towards the Hokage Tower with the rest of the group following. Honestly, how is he still so willing to do stuff when the rest of us are dead on our feet? We ran through the night just to make sure we got here safe, and yet he acts like he isn't even tired. I know that his stamina has always been crazy just from a few training sessions, but this is just ridiculous. Maybe that is why the girls are more than happy to share him, Sakura thought with a blush growing on her face. Gah, damn Kakashi-sensei and his books for putting thoughts like that into my head. I need to focus on figuring out this blood. She thought, focusing her mind after thinking about the time she accidentally read a bit of her sensei's precious books. So, with her mind as clear of perverse thoughts, she brought the rest of the group to Tsunade's office. Hokage's office. Lady Tsunade, we are back from the base. Sakura told her sensei respectfully. Good to see all of you back, now let's hear the report. Tsunade ordered them, not wanting to waste any time with stuff dealing with her old teammate. Especially when he was found so close to the village she had to protect. Hi Tsunade-sama, Yamato began and then gave a detailed explanation of the mission before placing the scroll of containing all the stuff they collected and had Sakura put the blood sample they collected, and after freeing ourselves we made it back to the village as soon as we could. Yamato concluded the report, leaving Tsunade looking at the blood with interest. Thank you. Now all of you are dismissed except for Sakura. Go and get some much-deserved rest. Tsunade told them, with all of the boys nodding and quickly leaving the room to do various things except for the pinkett. What do you need, sensei? Sakura asked, confused. Well Sakura, you have been a great student for the past few years, though you have not really had any cases to really test your medical knowledge. So, I am going to put you as the head medical ninja leading the study of this blood. Now I know it may seem like a daunting study, but I know you can succeed. Though me and Shizune will be available to help you if needed. Tsunade told the girl, who was now had a smile as wide as would fit upon her face. Thank you sensei. I will not let you down. Sakura told the older women, barely holding herself back from hugging said women. I know you won't Sakura, now go and get some rest. Come back to my office when you wake up and I will get you set up with an area and a team to help your study. Tsunade told her, smiling at the fact that she could see the excitement in Sakura's reaction. Eventually Sakura left to follow her orders. With Sai Danzo-sama, I have returned from my mission. Sai told the Danzo, bowing before the man in Root's secret base. Did you find anything worth having the researchers look into? Danzo asked coldly, not even looking at the pale teen. Hi, while we looking around the base were attacked by several civilians that seemed to be completely controlled, though their movements were sluggish and easily dealt with. Still, it may be possible to make use of the thing I believe was the cause of the control. Sai explained, bringing out the vials of black blood. Interesting, you are dismissed. Danzo told Sai as another Root Anbu took the vials from Sai. Hi, Sai muttered out, leaving Danzo alone without hesitation. Sakura. I can't believe that Tsunade-sensei would actually trust me with something so important. She must really believe in my abilities. Sakura thought happily as she got ready for bed. She just couldn't get the smile off of her face when she heard that the person that she was trying to impress and learn from for the past few years actually showed her how much they believed in her. None of the secrets that blood holds can hide with us on the job. Inner Sakura yelled out in her mind. Course she tried her best to push the excitement out of her mind for the moment so she could get some much needed sleep. Though she ended up dreaming of all the tests she would perform all night long anyways. Next morning. As soon as Sakura woke up, she quickly took a look at the time and saw that Tsunade should be heading to her office in about an hour. So, she quickly did her normal morning routine as fast as she could before sitting down with a small breakfast, just waiting for time to go by until the hour was finally up, and she quickly rushed out of the house and speed towards the Hokage Tower as fast as she possibly could. In fact, she was in such a rush that she didn't even notice that there was someone else in the hallway until she already slammed into the person. Oh, I am so sorry, Tsunade-sensei. Sakura told the person before realizing who it was. It is okay Sakura, I know you didn't mean to, though I had no clue I could do anything to make you act so much like Naruto would. Tsunade teased, knowing just why she was in such a rush, and of course she was rewarded for her statement by a large blush from her student, who was clearly embarrassed. Now, if you could get off of me, we can get you set up for your research. Tsunade told the girl, who got off of her teacher just as Shizune was walking around the corner. Tsunade-sama, it is nice to see you here so early. Shizune told the women, actually surprised by seeing her there, seeing as Shizune usually had a decent amount of time to set the office for the day. Well, of course I am here. It's time for our youngest student here to get her first medical study started. Tsunade told Shizune, happily wrapping her arm around Sakura's neck with a smile on her face. Tsunade-sama must really be happy that Sakura is doing so good. I haven't seen her this happy without sneaking booze past me in a long while. Shizune thought, smiling at seeing the normally annoyed women a bit happier. Well, congratulations Sakura. I am sure you are more than prepared for whatever it is you are studying. She told the pink-haired girl kindly. Thank you Shizune-sensei, Sakura told her, still smiling before her attention was brought back to Tsunade. Now enough of us talking, let's go get you set up before Shizune forces me to go through paperwork for a while. Tsunade told both of them before beginning to walk down the hall. I bring you those papers because it is your job. Shizune calls after the women before trying to catch up with Sakura following as well. Hospital. Tsunade, Shizune, and Sakura all were currently several floors up in the hospital looking at two rather simple rooms. One that had several smaller tables spread around the room with a few microscopes and other equipment. The other room had one large table that had several chairs around it. Okay, so here you are Sakura. These two rooms are gonna be where your team is set up. Room 304 is the main research area and 305 will be your meeting room. Now normally I would introduce the team to each other, but seeing as you are so early we will just have to wait until they show up when they actually have to work. Now while you don't have a time limit per se, I would prefer to know as much as I could about this blood as soon as you can get some results. Tsunade told her, handing her the vial that clearly had a small amount removed already. A fact that is to be expected just in case something was to happen with the sample she was currently studying got compromised. Thank you Tsunade-sama, I will not let you down. Sakura told her, determined to show her sensei that she could handle anything that she was given. I am sure you won't. Now come on Shizune, let's get some of that paperwork done so I can have my mid-morning drink. Tsunade tells her before walking away yet again. You said you weren't going to drink while working anymore Tsunade. Shizune called out, starting to try and argue with her mentor before realizing that she was simply pretending to hear her. So, with that be noticed, she quickly tried yet again to catch up with Tsunade, leaving Sakura standing there staring at the two. I know that she truly knows her stuff, but sometimes even I can't get over how weird both my senseis are at times. Sakura thought before shrugging it off and looking down at the sample in her hands. Now let's get a bit of a start. Sakura mumbled to herself, walking into the research room. She first started by getting a scroll ready to hold the findings they got of what she decided to for now call sample BBI-7 for Black Blood Inc. and 7 for Team 7. She then split the sample into several smaller tubes that she sealed off just to make it even less likely that something would happen to all of their only sample, while also making it possible for several others to study it at the same time. She finally then put a drop of the blood onto a slide and made a quick blood smear to get the study started. She made this blood smear as a way to simply get a cell count to determine if BBI-7 was still at least like normal blood in that aspect at Leah's. BBI-7 seems to have a normal red blood cell count and platelet count. Though interestingly there is little to no signs of white blood cells. Could this substance have gotten rid of them to keep itself thriving safely in the body? Sakura thinks, confused though before she could do anything else she saw 4 other people walk into the room with her. One of the group was a plain-looking man that clearly was one of the medical ninja that stayed in the village. 2 of the others were girls that looked to pretty much be the same, though judging by the headband one of them wore it was possible that she was another active field medic like she was. Finally her last group member was a blonde woman, clearly had several strands of hair sticking out as if she never bothered to brush it. To top off this girl's look, she even wore massive glasses that looked to have thick lens that looked to be nearly impossible to actually be able to look through. Hello, we were told that we would meet the head researcher for the new study in one of these rooms. One of the girls told Sakura politely. Yes, that would be me. Now if you would all join me in the conference room we can get introduced and I will explain this study to all of you. Sakura told them and walked into the other room with the rest of the group following her. So, our study is on the blood sample that my team has recently taken a sample off from Orochimaru's lair. This blood was obtained from subjects that seemed to be under an extreme amount of control, though also seemed to have extreme problems with normal functioning due to their movements being jerky. Sakura explained, showing the vials to the group. Our goal for this study is to find out anything and everything we can about this blood and will report our findings to Tsunade-sama. We have no time limit, but due to how close the base was found to Konoha it would be best for us to get the information as soon as possible. So far all I have done is a simple cell count where I have already written down my findings in the report of what I have named BBI-7. Though to sum it up, the blood seems to be relatively similar to normal blood. Now any questions? Sakura asked the group, trying to be as professional as she possibly could, only to see that no one responded. Good, then let's get started. Sakura tells them, and their studies began. Their group then went through every and any test that they could on the blood and found a decent amount of information on it that they soon brought to Tsunade's attention. Tsunade plus Sakura, in front of a surgery room with an observation window equals. This blood, one of the most interesting modifications that I have seen for a while, even if it was created by that bastard. Tsunade told Sakura as she looked through the report. They both then looked down the hall when they heard a cane tapping that was getting closer to them. Hello Danzo-san, Tsunade greeted the old man as politely as she could manage, looking at the injured man and his two Anbu guards. Hello Hokage-sama, I have recently heard that you have been studying a rather interesting sample. Danzo told the women who glared at him. Oh, and how did you hear about this? Seeing as I am sure that I did not give you any clearance to see the research. Tsunade told the man, who gave her a small smile. Well, I guess you should make sure that the researchers you pick are so loose-lipped if you wanted to keep it a secret. He told Tsunade, growl at what she knew was a lie but could not prove it. Anyways, from what I have heard, it seems your student here has been pretty through, except for one thing. What did I miss, Danzo-sama? Sakura asked, trying to be polite to the elder. Though instead of responding to her, he simply signaled for someone to come from around the corner, where two more Anbu came, forcing a struggling man with them. These two quickly brought the man into the surgery room before either of the women in front of him could say anything about it. Danzo then nodded to one of his guards, who nodded back and walked into the room as well, and simply stood there as the others tied the man to the surgery table. Now hold on Danzo, what the hell are they doing? Tsunade asked, angry that he was doing something she didn't approve of in her hospital. We are just going to do the last part of your student's study for her. Danzo told her simply. After all, what kind of test of a substance that affects humans be if it didn't look into what it does to a living person? He added coldly, making both of the women stare at him, shocked. No, we don't need to see what that substance does to a human. If anything, I would want to use a lab rat. Sakura told him, horrified by the fact that he would want to do that. Stop this test, Danzo. Tsunade ordered the old man, clearly furious. I would, but I am afraid it is too late. Danzo told them, clearly pleased by this fact, as they looked through the window and saw Danzo's guard inject the black blood directly into the restrained man's veins. If it makes both of you feel better, this man was on death row for his crimes anyways, and in a way he is our lab rat, Danzo told them, only to have his shirt grabbed by Tsunade, who picked him off the ground a bit. How dare you come into my hospital and mess with my students' studies? We already have at least a basic unsteadying of what that stuff does to humans from the mission debriefing. At least more than enough to know that it shouldn't be used on humans at all. Tsunade told the man, who stared into her rage-filled eyes calmly. Well, I am sorry Tsunade-sama, but it was already done before I could stop him. Though could you please put me down? We wouldn't want to have to go into the problems injuring one of the Elder Council would cause, would we? Danzo asked her, clearly happy that he got his way. Course Tsunade could do nothing but growl and let the man go, knowing punching him through a wall wouldn't be worth the annoyance the man would create later. So, they could do nothing but watch as the blood took effect. After all, as much as she didn't want to admit it, the medical researcher in her prevented her from ending the poor man's life. After all, they would have to eventually go to this to try and determine what Orochimaru truly wanted to do with it. Down on the table, the man quickly began to scream out in agony as the blood worked in his body. They could clearly see the vein in his arm where he was injected already turned black, and the color followed his veins going up his arm. It finally reached his chest, where it disappeared under his prison uniform but soon returned as his neck turned black. Finally they watched as his eyes turned completely black right when all of the veins in his head turned black. Right when the final bit of his veins turned black, the man stopped struggling and simply laid there unresponsive. Untie him. Danzo's guard ordered the other two, who did just that and stood tense while the now zombie-like man stood up from the table. How are you, V805? The guard asked, only to get no response. It seems he is completely incapable of anything other than keeping himself alive. One of the other Anbu noticed. V805, I order you to walk forward. The guard ordered the zombie-like prisoner, who didn't even attempt to move. He doesn't seem to take verbal commands. The guard mumbled until he heard the door open and saw Danzo, Sakura, and Tsunade walk in. And never again. Sakura muttered out, feeling disgusted with herself for simply watching the man scream in agony. For while she, like her sensei, knew that they would probably have to end up using some live subject, she still felt horrible to her. Well, we have at least learned that verbal commands don't work on these things. I wonder how they were controlled. Danzo told them. Now let's see if these things feel pain. Danzo adds, and one of the Anbu instantly pulls out a kuna ready to injure the man. No. Sakura called out. We have already learned enough, I think. Sakura told them, still feeling awful about watching the man wither in pain in the first place. Foolish girl. You wanted to be a researcher in the shinobi profession. You should have been taught that most stuff when it comes to ninja isn't pretty. We must get information before this is used against us. Danzo scolded Sakura, who instantly felt depressed until she heard a loud growl and looked up to see Tsunade punching the zombified man hard enough to slam him into a wall, cracking said wall. The man's body then dropped to the ground, clearly dead after her punch. There, we found out he can't take pain. Tsunade growled out, then walked up close to Danzo. And don't you ever insult my student. She has already proven to be more useful to this village than your old ass has ever been. Insult her or my teaching again and I will have to have a meeting to pick a new elder for the council. Tsunade told him before walking towards the door. Come on, Sakura, Tsunade ordered without looking behind her. Hi Lady Tsunade. She called out, then quickly followed after her sensei. She may not show it, but she really does care for us. Sakura, though, feeling a bit better. Meanwhile, Danzo simply looked away from the two women and ordered the guards to collect the body and carry it away. These fools may not want to take the fast route to solving this, but I am more than willing to go to any length to figure this out, and this cadaver is just what my researchers need. Danzo thinks with a mental smirk, even as he kept his real expression neutral as always. Chapter 47. Naruto. After meeting with Tsunade, Naruto quickly left the Hokage Tower and went for a bowl of ramen. Hello, Naruto-kun. Ayame called out, initially just greeting a normal customer until she saw who it was. She then reached over the booth and gave him a strong hug with a large smile on her face. Hello Ayame-chan, it's so good to see you after a long mission. Naruto told her honestly, especially after having to deal with Saiyan being buried alive. Was Naru-kun missing me? Ayame asked the boy with a mischievous smile. Just thinking about me got to be not enough to help you out. She teased and quickly started laughing as she saw Naruto's face turn bright red. No. Not like that, I just missed spending time with all of you. Naruto told her, waving his hands in front of himself. Oh, I wasn't pretty enough for you? She asked with a frown. What? No, you are pretty enough. I mean not that I would, but I do think you are pretty enough if. Yeah. Naruto tried to recover from her teasing only to hear her laughing at him some more. Oh, great. You are the first person I rushed to see and all I get is teased. Naruto told her with a small pout. Sorry, she told him, trying to recover from her laughing spree. You are just too easy to tease at times. Anyways, how did the mission go? She asked, curious. Course, Naruto's thoughts instantly went back to Sai's comments, then the weird zombie fight, and finally to finding himself buried alive. Well, it will never be one of my favorite missions, but it was interesting for sure. Naruto told her. Anyways, mind getting me a few bowls of ramen? I am starving. Naruto asked the girl, who quickly went to help with the order. Soon enough she brought back 2 bowls and set it in front of the blonde with a smile. Here you go, Naru-kun. Enjoy the reward for yet another completed mission, she told him kindly, and was going to turn away only for Naruto to grab her hand and stop her. Well, in that case, can I get a beautiful girl to eat with? Naruto asked, causing the girl to blush a bit. Okay then, Mr. Smooth Talker. Just give me a minute, she told him, and walked back towards the kitchen, where she quickly took off her apron and called to her father about going on break. She then walked back to him carrying yet another bowl of ramen. A bowl that she sat close to Naruto's before scooting up close to Naruto. So, any special reason you wanted to eat with me? She asked, curious. Oh, I need a reason to spend time with one of my girlfriends. Naruto asked, chuckling a bit. Anyways, so how have you been while I have been gone? Naruto asked, curious. Well, I pretty much spent most days like I normally do. Either working or spending time with my friends. She told him with a shrug. Though come to think of it, my friends were recently talking about the differences between ninja life and civilian life. Ayame told him. Shouldn't that be obvious? Naruto asked confused. Well, we weren't talking about the clear differences. We were more trying to figure out how some things you ninja use looks so elegant but yet is able to be put through so much. Ayame told him, honestly remembering some of the dresses that some kunoichi wear on a regular basis. Hey, well, to be honest, most clothing for us is made from durable cloth, and if done right, some strengthening seals as well. All in all, though, it isn't much different than normal civilian clothes unless the wearer wanted to put some actual protection on. Naruto told her. What? You mean all of you run around in basically normal clothes and fight deadly enemies in it? She asked, shocked, seeing as that just seemed suicidal to her. Yeah, some of us do, but most do end up putting extra armor on. To be honest, most of the time it is an annoying balance between protection and mobility. In my case, I have the basic clothes on but have applied my own seals to them, making them about as sturdy as rather thick leather armor, and I have some chainmail underneath. Naruto told her. For with ninja gear, if it too protective, most of the time it was cumbersome and made them slower. Meanwhile, it was just as dangerous as Ayame thought without it, but to be honest, that is how the life of a ninja is, constantly staring death in the face. But wait, what about that armor that we see in pictures of old famous ninja? She asked, making Naruto laugh a bit. Well, that's the point, they are well known and famous. That kind of armor is extremely expensive for one of us to buy. Meaning if I want a set, I would have to either save for a long while or try a lot more dangerous missions to make it a bit faster. Naruto told her. After all, unlike with the samurai, our armor needs to be made segmented, with each section being individually reinforced. It takes a long time to make one of those sets, hence why they are so customized and only seen on famous ninja. Naruto explained. Oh, that makes sense, she says, finally finishing her bowl while Naruto had been finished with his too for a while. Wait, so why don't civilians just get their clothes from ninja stores? All this fancy stuff rips way too damn easy. She complains, remembering the crazy prices that some stores try and charge for simple cloth. Well, I guess, you know, I have no idea. Naruto told her, laughing only for her to get annoyed. Damn it, you should have told me sooner. Jerk. She told him, clearly not truly annoyed. Ayame. If you are done, I could use some help back here. Chuki told her, surprising both of them due to the fact he snuck up on them. Alright. Sorry, Dad. Ayame told him, blushing out of embarrassment at the fact that she forgot that she took a sudden break. Sorry, Naruto-kun, I will talk to you later. She told him before giving him a quick kiss and getting back to work. See ya later. Naruto told her with a smile before leaving his money on the counter and walking off. I wonder what I should do now. I might as well just go relax and maybe spend some time with Haku if she's home. Naruto thought with a shrug. Naruto's apartment. Naruto quickly walked up to his door and opened it as fast as he could. Though seeing as he found the door locked, he assumed that Haku wasn't in and instead was just planning on sleeping for a bit, simply to regain some chakra after a long run back home. So, he quickly entered his room, dropping off his gear on a table and stripped off his shirt and was going to flop onto the bed until his reflex kicked in and he felt something flying at him. Things that he dodged the only way he could, by falling onto his ass, and watched as a few metal needles flew through the air where he just was and sunk into the wall halfway. What the hell? Naruto asked, shocked that he was attacked in his own room. NNNG, what do you want? Naruto heard a voice ask, clearly having just woke up. So he looked over at the bed and his eye widened a bit. Haku, what are you doing in my bed? He asked, not expecting to see her in the house, let alone in his bed, attack him. Said tired girl just looked at him tiredly before finally realizing it was Naruto and woke up quickly, realizing what just happened. Oh, Naruto-kun, I am so sorry. Are you okay? Haku asked, worried she actually hurt him. Yes, but why were you even in my room? Naruto asked the girl, still recovering from the fact that his girlfriend nearly hit him just for waking her up. He then watched as the girl blushed a bit and looked away from him, mumbling something quietly. What was that? Naruto asked the girl, who blushed a bit more. I said I missed you, okay? She told him, with her blush staying on her face. I got so used to sleeping with you that it was hard to sleep unless I was in here. Sorry that I didn't warn you or expect you to come into the room today. She told him. Sigh, it's okay Haku-chan, we just need to figure out a way to warn each other when we go on missions. Now I am tired from a long run as well, so move over. Naruto told her, only for her to sniff the air and scrunched up her face. No, take a shower first, you smell. Haku ordered him. Oh come on, it's not that bad is it? Naruto complained, just wanting to sleep, only to look at her reaction to him asking this. I'll go shower, he told and walked off to the bathroom. They then slept till it was night, and instead of getting up for the night they simply slept longer due to both of them being tired. Plus next morning the next time Naruto woke up, the sun was shining through his window yet again. Good morning Haku-chan, Naruto told the girl as he sat up stretching his arms while said girl woke up beside him. Morning, she told him with a yawn. So, why were you so tired anyways? Naruto asked Haku, who still seemed a bit tired. I have been working a lot of long shifts recently, and yesterday I just finished up with a long day of overtime. She told him. Ouch, why are you working so hard? Naruto asked the girl. Well, besides obviously getting a bit more spending cash, I am also trying to prove myself to the board that I truly know more than enough to go out on the field, plus if I do good enough maybe I will get Tsunade's attention as well. She told him with a smile. You know, I can just talk to Ba-chan and see about her working with you and at least getting a team to work with on missions outside the village. I mean, you have proven yourself more than enough already. Naruto told her, wanting to help her. She just smiled at him and gave him a kiss. It's sweet that you would do that for me Naru-kun, but I want to do this myself, okay? Haku told him, touched that he would do so much for her. Okay, just let me know if you change your mind, okay? Naruto told her and then heard his stomach growl at him. Now how about we go get some food? Naruto asked the girl, who quickly agreed and got ready to go out. And get some breakfast somewhere. Just because I am a bit too lazy to look up actually appropriate foods, I am not going to be using them. Instead I am going to use just basic breakfast, seeing as like other things I skip, it doesn't really matter. They ended up in a simple diner and quickly order a breakfast of bacon and eggs and began happily eating. Hey guys, Ino called over to them after they were eating for a few minutes as she rushed over to them from the front door. Oh, hey Ino, how are you doing today? Naruto asked the girl, who smiled brightly at him. I am doing good Naruto-kun, just getting ready for another day of training with the team. Just you wait, soon enough you and Forehead will have to be rushing to keep up with how strong I am getting. Ino told him, determined to become one of the stronger of their graduation year. For even she knew that out of all of the group that passed, she and Sakura were the weakest members. Then after the few years of training with Tsunade, Sakura became one of the strongest, leaving Ino as the weakest, something that her competitive side couldn't stand for. Hence why she has been upping her training as much as she possibly could to catch up to the rest of their group. Hey, I am sure that we will eventually, Ino-chan. We should have a spar to see how much stronger you are now eventually. I bet it would be a close battle if you were already this confident. Naruto told her kindly, already seeing the desire to prove herself hidden slightly in her eyes, something that he would have missed if he didn't see it in his own eyes during his childhood. Really, you are up for a spar? Ino asked, getting a nod from the blonde. Well, how about you come to our training session then and we will see who wins, though I warn you I expect a reward when I win. She told him, deciding to place a bet of sorts, seeing as Naruto still has never seen any of her new fighting style while she has seen a lot of the way he fights already. I may know that he may be a bit stronger than me, being trained by a Sannin, but I at least have the element of surprise. Meanwhile he has no idea that I have seen him training a bit, so I have a bit of a hint to his fighting style. I might just be able to win this. Ino thought with a smirk. After all, while she admits even to herself that she isn't as strong as the others yet, she still could hold her own quite well. Hey, a bet, huh? Well, okay, I will do whatever y'all want if you win, but what do I get if I win? Naruto asked the girl, who just smiled at him and walked towards him. I don't know, what could I ever give you that would be considered a reward for you? She asked teasingly as she placed her finger on his chest and slowly brought it up while feeling his muscles until she reached his chin, that she then cupped in her palm, gently pulling their heads closer until they were basically breathing the same air. Do you have any ideas, Naruto-kun? She asked the boy, who was now blushing a small bit as he couldn't help but try and move his head the few centimeters closer to finally kiss the girl. But just as he did this, she pulled away, leaving him shocked. Ah, good idea, that is perfect. If you win I will give you a nice kiss. She told him with a teasing smile, happy to see that she got to him with her flirting. HMPH, tease. Naruto growled out, partially annoyed that he fell for the trick but more amused that Ino's attitude clearly is still her normal playful self. Fine, but I am coming for that kiss. He told the girl who smiled at him. Oh, I bet you are Ero-kun, she told him, emphasizing his new nickname, causing him to blush even more. I didn't, I mean. Gah, Naruto mumbled out, embarrassed as he heard both girls laughing at his misfortune. Oh, just you wait, blonde, I will have my revenge, he told the girl with a smile, leaving them all amused. Anyways, sit down and get something to eat if you are gonna eat here, Naruto told her, motioning to a seat at their table that she gladly took. So, Haku, how has your time in the hospital been going? We have been too busy to talk much lately, Ino asked. Yeah, I don't know about you, but I have been keeping really busy in the hospital. After all, I think I am getting really close to them allowing me to actually be a field medic rather than just work in the hospital. I mean, I spent so much time mastering all of the medical jutsu they taught me and that I could find. Haku told her. Huh, I thought you were already allowed to leave and take missions, Ino asked the girl, confused, seeing as through learning about the T&I of Konoha she knew that Haku should have been cleared of any concern ages ago. Well, yes, I technically can do missions, but I still haven't officially been told that I am able to be a field medic for the village, Haku told her, pouting. Ah, well, don't worry about that, I am sure that you will get the recognition you deserve. After all, from what I have heard around the village, you are a damn good medical nin, Ino told her, making Haku blush a bit out of embarrassment. I didn't know people thought so highly of me, she mumbled out. Hey, well, if you put that much effort into it then surely people are gonna notice, Naruto told her with a big smile. Good job, Haim-chan, Naruto told her. Anyways, how about we get to training, instead of trying to make me blush more, Hinata asked and whispered out the last part, still embarrassed by the praise. Hey, sure Haku. So, ready to get the fight of your life, Ino asks, looking over at Naruto, determined to win. We will see, Ino-chan, we will see, Naruto told her, finishing the last of his meal before paying the bill. Their group then began to walk towards a training ground to have their friendly spar. Ayame_. Ayame woke up at her regular time, ready to work through the day, only to remember that she had a day off. So, she simply got comfortable again and tried to think about what she wanted to do with the time she had. What should I do today? I mean, for starters, Naruto has just came back from his mission, so I could go spend some time with him, but I did spend a decent amount of time with him already. I think I will let some of my other girlfriends welcome him home. Come to think of him, maybe it is about time for me to check out the ninja clothes store and see what they have to offer, Ayame thought, remembering what Naruto told her with a smile. After all, what girl wouldn't want to have their favorite clothes last ages? So, with that in mind, she quickly got dressed and grabbed her purse. Then, after calling out a quick goodbye to her father, and she left to walk to the store she had in mind. Hey, Ayame-chan. Ayame heard someone called out to her after only a few minutes of walking. She then turned and saw a girl waving at her happily. Said girl was a rather short black-haired girl with bright green eyes. She currently had a simple green t-shirt hanging loosely from her frame, basically hiding her rather small chest a decent bit. The black-haired girl also had rather tight pants on that showed off her shapely but lean legs. All in all, she was a rather cute girl that was shown off even more with the bright smile on her face. Hello Sakura-chan, how are you doing today? Ayame asked the girl, who she now recognized as one of her best friends. I'm doing pretty good. Just got a day off, so I was gonna visit you and your pops, but apparently you managed to have a day off as well, Sakura told her. Yay, you were right about that. I finally got a day all to myself, she told her friend with a smile on her face. Niece. So, got any plans for your day? Sakura asked, curious. Well, to be honest, I am going to check out the ninja clothing store to see what designs they have, Ayame told her friend, who was shocked. What? I thought that store was for ninja only, hence what we call it, Sakura asked, confused. Well, apparently anyone can shop there according to Naru-kun, so I am gonna try it out at least once, Ayame told her. Oh, well, mind if I come with? Sure, let's go, Ayame told her with a shrug. And with that they both continued to walk to said store. Soon enough they reached a store named the Worn Traveler and quickly entered, excited to see if what Naruto said is really true. When they entered they found out that the store really seemed to be a lot like a regular clothing store with separate sections for men and women in all sizes that you could think of. Though they did notice that instead of having a lot of fancy clothes that would really only be worn to fancy dinners and such, it had a lot of more practical dress clothes. Even their more provocative clothes clearly looked to be much more durable than it normally should be. Lastly they noticed that instead of having an obvious, out back, area there was instead a lot of scrolls were placed around the counter where a rather bored woman sat reading a book. Wow, this place has some amazing stuff even if it still is a bit less fancy than some of the stuff I have seen. Sakura mumbled out to her friend who simply nodded at her. Needless to say they happily looked through all of the clothes and decided to buy several pieces. Something that led to them happily spending a good portion of the day shopping around trying to see more what ninja clothing had to offer. In fact they spent more than enough time that when they finally stopped out of exhaustion it was nearing the end of the day. So, they ended up going to a simple bar and grill to get some dinner. Wow, I didn't expect to spend my entire day off shopping. But it was interesting to see those stores, I don't know why I didn't check them out before. Ayame said happily as she dropped her bags and rested on the chair. Yeah, I don't know either. And to think it is all because of you talking to your boyfriend. Speaking of which, how is it going with your ninja boy toy? Sakura asked with a smirk. Well, first he isn't my boy toy, second it is going quite good. He has made sure to treat me better than I could have imagined any guy doing. Ayame told her honestly. Oh, you are happy even if he is, legally, cheating on you? She asked with a small frown, not completely happy that her friend had to share, making Ayame frown. Listen Sakura, I know you don't like the thought of sharing, and to be honest I wasn't at first either. But I was the one who finally decided to go for it simply because Naruto is worth it. To be honest, even though he has more than one girlfriend he still treats me better than any of my previous boyfriends did and even spends more time with me than they did, not to mention he has an amazing physique thanks to being a ninja as well. Ayame explained to her friend, blushing at the end. For due to the rest of her previous boyfriends being civilians, some of them had a decent amount of pudge whenever she felt them in a hug or something or saw them with their shirt off. Okay, I will just accept that I guess, but if he ever hurts you somehow I will be sure to kick his ass, ninja or not. She told her, making Ayame smile at her friend. Thanks, Ayame told her friend. Then they simply enjoyed their meal. They both peacefully ate their meal, simply enjoying the meal until right when they were about to finish they heard a loud bang that surprised everyone in the restaurant into quickly looking over to the door. What everyone saw was Sakura's telltale pink hair, though the next thing they noticed was the aura of depression she seemed to give off. Still no one said a word as she walked away from the door she slammed open and sat right at the bar. Give me the strongest drink you have, she told the bartender, throwing down some money onto the table. Though due to how silent the room still was everyone could clearly hear just how slurred her voice is and the fact that her cheeks were rosy. I am sorry miss, but I think you have had too much tonight. The man told her awkwardly and began to sweat out of fear when she slammed her hand down on her money hard enough to imprint the coins into the table. Seeing this, Ayame couldn't help but worry about the girl. What is going on right now? From the times I have seen her in the village and around Naruto-kun, she has never even tried to touch alcohol, but now she seems to basically be drowning herself in it for some reason. Ayame thought, concerned, until she saw that the pinkett seemed about ready to try to kill the bartender for not giving her more booze. I will worry about what caused this later. Right now I need to stop her from doing something that she will regret and will get in trouble for. Ayame thought, quickly making a plan, and quickly walked to the bar with her friend following her confused. She then quickly laid down enough money to pay for both her meal and quickly ordered some sake that the bartender quickly did, simply to get away from the pink-haired girl glaring at him. Come on Sakura-san, I got you some sake, you just need to follow me. Ayame told the girl, who growled at her and tried to snatch it from Ayame, who managed to dodge the sluggish swipe. No, you gotta come with me, she ordered the women, who groaned and mumbled, fine. Ayame, what are you doing getting the attention of this dangerous woman? Sakura asked, worried about her friend's sanity. Sakura, this is one of Naruto's friend, I don't know why she is like this, but normally she is nice. I can't just let her get in trouble for whatever is causing her to do this. Ayame told her. Fine, but I am coming with you to wherever you are going. Sakura told her friend. And to hopefully help keep you from being killed by this crazy chick. After this is said, they quickly brought Sakura along with them by leading her along like an animal with a treat. Eventually they made it to where Ayame wanted to go and quickly knocked on the door of the apartment, then waited as they dodged Sakura, who was sluggishly trying to grab the booze, until the door finally opened, showing a clearly tired Naruto who currently was only in his boxers. "Hello?" Naruto asked, tired. "Hey Naruto, sorry for waking you up, but we found Sakura like this and could really use some help." Ayame quickly told her boyfriend, who quickly woke up by the sheer shock value of what was in front of him. He then quickly got behind Sakura, who was still focused solely on the booze. "Sorry about this," Naruto whispers to the girl before quickly hitting a pressure point hard enough to knock the girl out and caught the girl as she fell down out cold. "Thank you for keeping her out of trouble, Tenchi-chan. I will make sure she sleeps this off," Naruto told the girl, bringing the knocked out girl into the house with Ayame and Sakura following behind him. He instead ignored this and focused on bringing Sakura to his bed, where he laid the girl down in the now empty bed while Haku watched confused. Still Naruto didn't focus on that and instead quickly took Sakura's shoes off before placing the blanket over her. "Now let's go to the living room, shall we?" Naruto asked the girls, who nodded, not knowing what else to do at the moment. Though as soon as they made it there, Naruto asked for the two civilians to explain a task that they quickly did, making the blonde shake his head. "Thank you for all the help, you two. Then I will make sure that she is taken care of, and figure out what is going on. Now I am sure you have had a long night, so how about you go get some rest?" Naruto offered the girl, who groaned. "I would like to, but I just remembered that we need to go grab our bags." Ayame told him, annoyed. "Ah, well, tell ya what, how about I help you out with that?" Naruto asked before creating a shadow clone who quickly hanged to look like it was dressed. "Just tell him what place and he will bring them all to Ayame, and you two can go through it later," Naruto told the girl, who quickly gave him a strong hug, appreciating it, seeing as she just wants to go to sleep. So, with that they quickly left after Naruto gave her a quick kiss and began to walk towards their houses, and soon enough reached said ramen stand. "Well, thanks for going through today with me, Sakura-chan. Have a good night," Ayame told the girl with a smile. "Hey, don't worry, that probably was one of the most eventful days that I have had," she told Ayame with a large smile. "Oh, and I changed my mind. After seeing that bot, I can understand why you want to be with him. Hell, maybe he wouldn't mind another gal for some fun," Sakura told her before running towards her house. "Sakura-chan," Ayame called out, blushing due to her friend's words. "So I have just now realized that while I did the time skip, I never really explained how much they changed through the skip, so let me fix that a little bit right now, I suppose, seeing as I am sure that I have some people already unhappy about this." Haku started off in her trial phase and passed it, allowing her to take some missions in and outside of the village. Basically, she has been determined to not be dangerous to the village. Meanwhile, for her medical training, she has been training to be an actual medical ninja. Before, she only had basic training with regular medicine, and has spent a long time trying to become as good as she could possibly be. Right now she is a competent medical ninja, but has yet been truly clearly to go on missions with teams, with her being the only medic. Basically, she just wants recognition of the fact that she is a proper medical ninja. During the time skip, she was determined to get stronger and is training hard to become strong enough that she isn't a weak link in any team she works with. Meanwhile, she has began to work more with her father in the T&I program to both learn her clan's technique and to have a job that she can do while in the village. Hinata got more confident and knows more of her clan's techniques and has been preparing to be the head of her clan. She still has her perverted tendencies and now will be more likely to act on them. She, while is strong, will still be the shy girl she acts like in actual show. Ayame, while not a ninja, has spent the time simply getting to know her sisters a bit and getting used to the idea. While she may not be doing missions or such with them, Naruto does try to spend as much time with her and get to know the civilian side of life. Hanabi not predetermined to be the heir anymore, now more of a toss-up until it is fully decided. She is now a genin. Note she is several years older, they just kind of start a bit older in my story. Currently she isn't a member of the harem and Naruto isn't even aware of her crush on him. Instead, she has been partially trying to stalk him a bit and will eventually try to express her love, get found out. Chapter 48. MMHHH, Sakura slightly groaned as she felt herself start to escape from the clutches of sleep. She then opened her eyes only to immediately shut them due to the sunlight going into her eyes. Ah, damn sunlight, why do you have to wake me up, and why is my head so painful? She thought, bringing a hand up to rub her temples. What happened last night? She asked herself, not remembering a lot of what happened after she got out of the hospital. Still, she forced herself to wake up and slowly opened her eyes, making sure to look away from the window. When she did this, she quickly noticed that she wasn't in her own room, an observation that quickly woke her the rest of the way up as she jumped out of the bed. Sadly for her though, when she stood up she quickly began to feel extremely dizzy and sick, forcing her to sit back down. Ah, okay, calm down Sakura, you just woke up with some sort of chemical heavily affecting you. You aren't in your own room, so think about a way out of getting of here to safety. She told herself, determined to get out of the house of what she assumed to be a rapist. She then refocused on her surroundings and tried standing up, succeeding this time. Still, soon after she did so, her stomach seemed to flip, making her new mission to be finding a bathroom, which just so happened managed to an open door close to her. So, after getting there as fast as her dizziness allowed her, she quickly dropped around the toilet and began puking the contents of her stomach out into said toilet. She stayed there for a minute or two before she finally felt better and stood up again, only to freeze in horror when she looked into the mirror. For what she saw staring back at her was a pink-haired girl whose hair looked like it went through a tornado. Though what worried her the most was the fact that she saw her pink bra as the only thing holding her breasts in confinement. Oh no, she mumbled out, looking closer into the mirror as if something would change. Oh no 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 no, she continued, freaking out until she nearly was in tears. No, my first time already happened, she thought, horrified and depressed. And not only don't I remember it, but I don't even know what creeper stole it from me. It was supposed to be special. She thought, actually crying at the loss of what she considered one of her most prized possessions. Sakura-san. Sakura heard whispered out quietly and quickly looked at the door where she noticed Haku was standing. Haku-san. Sakura mumbled out, shocked. If you are here, then that means this must be Naruto-kun's home. Getting a positive nod. Well, I guess at least it was with someone that actually cares for me and not some freak. She muttered out, confusing Haku. What do you mean? Haku, look at me. The only possible reason I can think of for looking like this is if Naruto had, say, you know, with me while I was under whatever is making my head so foggy. Sakura told the girl, whose eyes widened slightly. Oh, Sakura, you really don't remember what happened last night, do you? Haku asked the pinkette, who nodded her head. Well, Sakura, Ayame-san found you last night at a bar completely wasted. She then brought you over here where Naruto and me quickly took care of you. We placed you into his bed and wanted you to sleep it off. Haku explained to the girl, who is now confused. But then why am I nearly naked and in my hair like this? Sakura asked and watched shocked as the girl giggled at her misfortune. Well, that is actually what made it a bit funny. You see, after we put you into the bed we went out to talk with Ayame and heard noise coming from the room soon after they left. So, Naruto-kun quickly went there to check on you and found you rolling around on the bed complaining about being too warm. That is where your hair got messed up, by the way. Anyways, before we could do anything to help you get cooler, you quickly stood up in front of us and quickly removed your clothes right in front of him. Haku explained, giggling. You should have seen how shocked he looked before turning pink and looking away. She told her before going into a small laughing fit at the expression Naruto had before pulling herself back together. Anyways, after that happened, Naruto quickly told me to help you before running out of the room. She told her with a smile. For while she should be upset that her boyfriend is looking at another girl, but due to accepting the whole CRA thing she wasn't. Besides, she still was his servant, so even if he wasn't in CRA she wouldn't have minded all that much either. So we didn't do that. Sakura asked, getting a nod that made her sigh in relief. Thank Kami. Sakura told the girl in relief before realizing what she was. I mean, not that he would be a bad or anything, but I want to be with someone special. I mean, he is special, but, ow, my head. Sakura tried to explain, but her head started hurting when she tried to think of a proper reasoning to appease the girl if she took offense. Well, that will happen when you drink a lot, Sakura-san. Haku told her before handing her a glass of water. Here, take this, and there is some medicine in the cabinet if you don't feel capable of doing a medical jutsu. Haku told the girl, who gladly took the water. Haku then walked out of the room, going to tell Naruto that Sakura was up, while said girl gladly drank the water to rinse her mouth. Plus few minutes later, Sakura, who was still sitting on the bathroom floor due to not feeling completely confident in her ability to walk while dizzy. So, when Haku came back, she was pretty much in the same state she was before. Feeling any better? Haku asked kindly. A little bit, but I still feel dizzy and sick to my stomach. Sakura admitted. Honestly, if this was from booze like you said, then I have no idea why Tsunade-sensei likes the stuff so much. Sakura admitted. Haku, is she dressed now? Sakura heard a male voice ask. Naruto-kun. Sakura asked, surprised he came back to speak with her. Though she was semi-surprised to see Naruto in the doorway, though nearly laughed at the fact that he seemed to be closing his eyes as much as possible. Hello Sakura. I am glad you are doing better this morning. Now do you want to talk about the reason you were found wasted by Ayame and her friend? We are all worried about you. Oh, and just as a reminder, I did not mean to see you in your underwear yesterday. You simply caught me by surprise when you did it. Naruto told her, clearly sweating and preparing to be punched out of the village. Hey, don't worry Naruto, Haku explained it already to me. Though I thank you for being courteous enough to not stare at me, anyways you were worried about me. Sakura told him, confused for while she was even surprised herself that she really didn't mind the fact that Naruto saw her. That wasn't really what she was focused on. Instead, she was surprised that he would worry about her after all the things she did to him when they were younger. Well, of course I was Sakura, we are friends. Now how about we go into the living room and see if we can get the bottom of what caused all this, shall we? Naruto asked her before reaching down to her, forgetting why he had his eyes closed. Gah! Naruto called out in surprise, blushing at the fact that he accidentally saw her again. Sorry. Haku, can you get some clothes on her, then meet me in the living room please? Naruto asked Haku as he quickly walked away with the blush still on his face. Hey, what a nuclehead. Sakura mumbled, laughing at his reaction, though surprisingly not bothered by the fact he peeked at her again. Still, she with the help of Haku quickly got out of the bathroom and got dressed before finally meeting with Naruto again. So what got you drinking? Naruto asked the girl as soon as she sat down on a chair. Well, what makes you think that this is something wrong? I mean, you know how bad my sensei is with booze, maybe I just got a bad habit. Sakura told him, trying to not have to think about the real reason. Sakura, we have been teammates for ages and I have never seen you take more than a few sips of booze. Now if you don't want to talk, that's fine, I won't force you. But no, we just want to help you. Naruto told her, not buying her story at all. Sigh, you know me too well sometimes. She admitted to him before finally deciding to just tell him and just deal with his reaction. The reason I drank so much is because of the research we were doing on the blood. For we did get a lot of information, but then came the last test. After I gave the results, Lord Danzo came wanting a test AL live specimen. She told him, now shaking a bit, remembering his screams. I just stood there listening as a man screamed and became one of those things. Sakura told him, horrified. While she was far from weak-minded, she just couldn't accept the fact that she just stood there while a man that she knew nothing about was tortured just for the sake of science. Course she expected both of them be upset with her, but instead was shocked when Naruto wrapped her up in a tight hug. Oh Sakura-chan, I am sorry you had to go through with that. It must have been awful, but you weren't the one who did it. Danzo was. Naruto told her while gently rubbing her back. Yet again I am stuck trying to make people I care about feel better. I must give them some of my bad luck. But at least I think I kind of have what to do down. Naruto thought as he did this, still hoping that what he was doing was making her feel better. But I just stood there letting it happen. Sakura told him, clearly nearly going to cry. You had no choice. Danzo, while an asshole still holds weight in the village. If you tried anything you would have been stopped. So, please don't think it is your fault. Just try and move on from it and focus on better days, future days. Naruto told her. Ute. Sakura began but was snuffling a bit. Shish, just let it out. Naruto told her, at least understanding the signs of when people need to cry. And with that said, she began to cry into his shoulder. And while Sakura does become a bit more badass, she still is under the effects of some of the alcohol, so her walls isn't completely up. Plus she is more than a bit shaken up from watching someone being tortured without reason. They then sat there for several minutes just letting Sakura let go of all of her stress until she finally pulled away with her eyes puffy and nose slightly running. Feel better? Naruto asked the girl kindly, who nodded. Yay, thank you Naruto-kun. Sakura told him with a small smile on her face. Only Naruto-kun is willing to try his hardest to make anyone feel better, even if they were mean to him for years. Sakura thought fondly of her blonde friend. Now I better go actually do something with my day, I guess. Sakura told him, blushing out of embarrassment seeing as she realized it was still early in the morning. Hee okay Sakura-chan. I hope you are feeling better, and next time you feel the need to drink away your sorrows just come to me, okay? Naruto told her kindly, getting a nod from the girl. Sakura then quickly walked up to him and gave him a quick kiss on the cheek before quickly running out of the house with a blush back on her face. Why did I do that? Sakura mentally asked herself as she rushed out as fast as she could while still feeling a bit dizzy even though some of the after effects of the booze. Plus back with Naruto, Haku plus. Haku just shook her head at what she just saw Sakura do, knowing full well why she did it. I know I shouldn't mind it if my master has more girls, well more than he already does, but I would prefer if I didn't have to share him with every girl he meets. Sigh, only I can manage to be with the one guy out there that can woo any girl simply by being himself. Haku thought though if she was honest with herself she wouldn't change him for anything. You're sweet Naruto-kun. Now I'll get breakfast started. She told him, walking towards the kitchen. Wait, wasn't she wobbling just a little bit before she left? How did she manage to rush out of the house without much problems? Naruto asked, confused only to get a shrug. I guess all that crying burnt off some effects. Haku told him, simply not caring enough to think about it much. She then went on to cooking a basic breakfast for them. Soon enough said meal was ready and both of them happily ate. So, what are your plans for today? Naruto asked her. I guess I will do some cleaning around our house and then probably go to the library for a bit. Haku tells him. Okay. Do you want me to help you with cleaning? Oh, no, I would never ask my master to help me with my chores. She told him with a smile on her face while Naruto's sweat dropped at her answer. I thought we were past the whole master thing. I am not your master and you are not my tool. You are my girlfriend, so in fact I should be the one trying to make you feel special instead of you trying to make me feel like I am your master. Naruto told her. Yes, you are right, I am your girlfriend, which gives me even more reason to make sure that my master is kept happy. She told him sweetly while shooing him out the door so he couldn't argue more with her. Only stopping when Naruto finally was outside and the door was shut. Sigh, well I guess I should figure out what I am doing today. Naruto mumbled, seeing as he didn't feel like arguing more with Haku or trying to break into his own house. He then began walking through the village with no real destination. After a few minutes Naruto found himself getting closer to the Yamanaka flower shop. I wonder what Ino-chan is up to today. Naruto thought with a small smile before walking into the store where he saw her mother working. Hello to Yamanaka flower shop, how can I help you today? She asked him with a kind smile on her face. Hello Mrs. Yakuma, is Ino-chan around? Naruto asked her, feeling a bit nervous. After all, this was his first time meeting his girlfriend's mother. Oh Naruto-san, it is nice to finally see the man that has captured my daughter's heart. You are treating her good, aren't you? She asked him with her sweet smile on her face, though her aura has become much more threatening. Why yay, I am trying to make sure she is happy. Naruto told her, slightly afraid of the women. Oh good. Then let me go get her for you Naruto, but no, if you make her cry my husband will be the least of your worries. She told him, starting off sweet but sounding downright lethal at the very end, causing Naruto to sweat. Damn, mothers are scary, please don't tell me every parent is like this. Naruto thought, terrified of the thought of parents. Still, he didn't have long to think about this, seeing as he heard rushed footsteps coming from the back of the store. Naru-kun. Ino called out happily while rushing to give him a strong hug. Go on and have fun Ino-chan, I can man the store alone for a while. Ino's mother told her, kindly waving off the couple. Thank you Ka-chan. Ino told her happily before dragging Naruto out of the store. Come on Naruto, you heard her. Let's go do something fun. She told him with a smile. Oh okay, what do you want to do? Naruto asked the girl, trying to catch his footing from being dragged out of the village. Before Ino finally stopped a decent ways away from the store. Finally away from the store. Ino mumbles before turning towards Naruto. Sorry about the rush, but Ma rarely lets me take a day off when it is my turn to help in the store, so I wanted to leave before she changed her mind. Now what to do? Ino mumbles, clearly having no idea herself. How about we go see one of the Princess Gale movies? I hear that a lot of people enjoy them. Naruto suggested, getting a smile from Ino. Perfect idea, let's go. Ino tells him, excited to spend some time with him in the movie. Plus little while later. Princess, you need to escape, don't worry, I will hold them off. A man tells the women standing just behind him while he blocked a few sword swings. No, Riruka, I won't leave you. We will stay together and face this head on, she told him while prepping to shoot an arrow. This movie is so cheesy when you have faced worse battles than this, whatever, at least Ino-chan is enjoying it. Naruto thought, trying to hold back a yawn as he glanced over at the girl currently leaning on his shoulder while completely focused on the movie. He couldn't help but smile at the carefree nature that Ino seemed to always have, no matter what the situation. These movies just get better and better, Ino thought with a mental smile. Course she also was sure to glance over to take a look at how Naruto was doing and was semi-surprised to see him still pretty much awake. Hey, he either actually likes this movie or he has managed to at least last longer than when I saw a movie with my team. Ino thinks, happy to see him actually awake. So, seeing this, she simply got a bit more comfortable while leaning on his shoulder before refocusing back on the movie to hopefully enjoy every last bit. After the movie. That was so good, don't you think, Naru-kun? Ino asked happily. For while even she knew that compared to ninja fights the movie's fight scene was bad, the rest of it was at least really good. Yeah, it was great. Ino-chan. So, what do you want to do next? Naruto asked. You really are up for more? Ino asked, shocked. Yeah, of course I want to continue. After all, we haven't spent time together in what feels like ages, so we should spend all the time we can while we aren't randomly blocked by a mission. Besides, wasn't there a new store that opened up recently? Naruto told her, intent on trying to spend a decent amount of time with each of his girlfriends. After all, what kind of a boyfriend would he be if he wasn't at least trying to be fair with them? Course, this statement made Ino smile even more. Okay, you officially are the best guy the first have ever known. Ino tells him with an even larger smile, and she grabbed his hand and walked towards the store as fast as she could while remaining with Naruto. After all, she never had a male actually want to go shopping without her having to beg or blackmail him. So, she happily enjoyed her date while Naruto tried to both keep up with her shopping craze and trying to enjoy himself as well. Still, after a little while, Naruto had to admit that he actually enjoyed himself a little bit, simply because Ino was helping him get some stuff he needed as well, and her attitude was infectious. So, he actually had to admit that as long as it was with people he actually wanted to spend time with, then shopping wasn't that bad, not that he would admit it. A bit later, and Ino walked out of the store happily while Naruto carried several of her bags. You sure you don't want me to help you, Naru-kun? Ino asked, only to see Naruto shake his head. Nah, after all, isn't this what boyfriends are supposed to do, to help their girlfriend? Naruto asked her, making her giggle a bit. What do ya know, for once a male assuming stuff made a girl's life easier. Ino thought, amused, but didn't mention it to Naruto. After all, who'd complain about not having to carry your own bags? Are you a sweet boyfriend? Ino told him teasingly while pinching his cheeks, only for him to shake his head out of her fingers. And you just love to tease. Naruto told her, only to see her stick her tongue out at him. Anyways, let's go get something to eat. I'm starving. Naruto told her. I know just the place. Ino told him, happily deciding that she wanted to go to her oh so familiar grill restaurant. Hey, you really like this place, don't ya? Naruto asked, amused. Yay, of course I do. After all, a lot of good memoirs was made here with my team. She told him with a smile on her face. Oh, I thought being around them always bugged you. I mean, for a while all I heard you talk about was how annoying they were. Naruto asked, confused. Well, yes, they did annoy me for a while, but they have always been almost like extended family to me, and you basically are expected to argue with them a lot. Ino explains with a small blush on her face at admitting how much she cared for her teammates. Who would have guessed that you cared so much for them? I wonder how they feel. Naruto told her, surprised that the three clans were really that close. Who knows? After all, I was kind of a bitch to them when we were younger. Ino admitted, remembering all the comments about Shikamaru's laziness and Choji's girth. Hey, I am sure that if you all have spent that much time with each other, then I am sure that they have forgave you already. Naruto told her, trying to cheer her up. Thanks, Naruto. Now let's eat. Ino tell Naruto, who quickly agrees. Tilda just outside. Tilda. I still don't see what sis likes so much about him. I mean, he is with another girl right now. Hanabi thinks as she watched Naruto and Ino walk towards a restaurant. She then waited until they were brought to a table before sneaking in herself. But I do got to admit, he does seem pretty caring and those whiskers do look cute. Ga. Curse you, brain. Hanabi thought with a blush, realizing where her thoughts were leading to. She then simply tried to focus on listening in more but couldn't help but lose track of her thoughts and blush a bit. Hanabi. She heard from behind herself, making her eyes widen in surprise. For she was so focused on her observations that she forgot to watch her surroundings as well. She quickly turned around and saw Hinata looking at her, clearly confused. Hello, Oni-chan. Hanabi greeted the girl, blushing due to the embarrassment of being caught. What were you doing here? Hinata asked her sister, confused. Hanabi began, trying to explain in a way that would make her a lot less creepy than what she actually was doing. Hey Hinata. They both heard and looked to see Ino waving said girl towards them while unknowingly saving her sister from thinking of an answer. Not even thinking about this fact, Hinata walked over to the other table with Hanabi quickly following after her to take the chance she got, not to spend time close to the blonde but to observe him, of course. Hey Ino-san, Naru-kun. How are you doing? Hinata asked the two while sitting on the other side. Meanwhile, Hanabi would have sat on the same side as her sister, but before she could, they heard some more voices coming towards them. Hey guys. Choji calls out happily, wearing an apron and carrying a tray of raw meat for them to cook. Choji, you are working today? Ino asked, surprised, seeing as he only worked here when they really needed extra people. He tended to be working on other things for his clan. Yeah, I am. He tells them with a simple. One of our chefs had to take a sick day, so I needed to cover. Anyways, how are you guys doing? Choji asked, deciding to sit down by Hinata and thus take the space up for Hanabi. An event that makes said girl just look at the chubby man in disbelief of his timing, but the smell of the cooking meat soon brought her back to her senses and made her realize that she was actually a bit hungry. Something that Naruto seemed to notice. Hello, Hanabi. Hanabi-chan, feel free to join us for a meal. I don't know how it managed to become this, but this is more of a friend's meal now. So, come sit down and grab some food. I ordered plenty for myself, but I guess I have to share now. Naruto told her with a chuckle. He then pat the seat next to him, which Hanabi took due to having no real good reason not to, or other options. So she quietly sat down and waited for the food to cook while trying to keep to herself as much as she could. He really does seem nice to invite me as well. I might as well enjoy the meal, seeing as this is as close to learning about him from up close as I will get. But I am so hungry that it is hard to think of anything but the smell the grill is producing, well, that and maybe this cologne that is just tempting me to lean in closer. Hanabi thought quietly, only to blush dark red when she realized what she admitted to herself. Still, she shook her head and simply tried to focus on the meal alone, and not the cute blonde with a few inches of her. Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you have any fanfictions you would like to see on the channel, leave them in the comments, and have a great day.